Chapter 4205. Great. Sword Maniac, you're here too. Meng Qing heaved a sigh of relief. With Lin Xin around, she felt much more at ease. The other three young geniuses frowned slightly. Damn it, what is this guy doing? However, the situation was critical and the Great Elder had given the order, so they didn't say anything. Instead, they gritted their teeth and flew quickly. Soon, they passed through countless mountain ranges and arrived in front of a huge mountain. This mountain looked like a dragon lying there. It was called Mount Azure Dragon, and the Azure Dragon horn was located inside. Open the seal. Near Mount Azure Dragon, there were 9 powerful dragon tribe experts waiting. When they saw Meng Qing and the others, they quickly formed seals with their palms and tore a corner of the seal. Then, Meng Qing, Lin Xian, and the others quickly walked in. After entering, Lin Xian felt a powerful aura of the Tao of Dragons in the mountain. Lin Xian felt suppressed. The others were pale. It was too terrifying. What kind of expert left behind this aura? At the same time, they were also excited. The Azure Dragon horn was inside. If they could get it, it would be a supreme fortune. Soon, they walked in and found that there was a bright light inside. There was a barrier in front of them, and there was a dragon horn inside. The dragon horn was only the size of a palm, but it was unusually mysterious. The dragon patterns on it were different. Lin Xian was astonished by the aura it carried. The great dragon sword soul in Lin Xian's body rumbled. It seemed to be very happy. At the same time, many figures arrived outside the Azure Dragon Mountain. It turned out that the Winged Dragon and Saber Dragon tribe had shown their power and directly suppressed the Azure Dragon tribe. The Great Elder of the Azure Dragon tribe shouted angrily. "How is it? Did you go in?" The 9 people said. They had just entered. The Great Elder of the Azure Dragon tribe heaved a sigh of relief. Everyone listened. They couldn't let them take another step forward. They had to protect Mount Azure Dragon and send a voice transmission to the people inside, telling them to hurry up. The Great Elder knew that the other party had come prepared this time, and they couldn't hold on for too long. It was useless. Don't persist. You are no match for us. An old figure also descended. The dark golden wings on his back covered the sky and blocked out the sun. Heaven and earth darkened. The Great Elder of the Winged Dragon clan had arrived. The first elder of the Blue Dragon tribe immediately struck out with the Blue Dragon seal. As for the other party, it was the wind shakes the 9 heavens. 2 peak holy venerates attacked. Terrifying laws swept out in all directions. The others were also engaged in a great battle, and the situation was exceptionally intense. Inside Mount Azure Dragon, Lin Xian and the others heard the sound of the battle outside. They were all extremely solemn. Were those people already here? If they broke through the seal, then they wouldn't have a chance. Damn it, we can't wait any longer. A young man walked out. He was also a heaven. Proud was a half-step holy venerate. At this moment, it cut its palm and dripped its dragon blood on the barrier. At the same time, he said, "Ancestor, please acknowledge me." He was filled with anticipation, and the others were also holding their breaths. However, the Azure Dragon horn inside the barrier did not move at all. There was no reaction at all. Damn it, how could it be like this? The first young man's complexion turned incomparably pale. He was unwilling to accept this. However, this was the second person. He walked over and said, "Let me do it." Then, he also cut his palm and pressed it on the barrier. This person's cultivation was a holy venerate, the same as Meng Qing. It could be said that his strength and talent were greater than the first person's. However, the second person also did not succeed. Although he caused the Azure Dragon horn to tremble, the seal was not broken. In other words, he did not receive its acknowledgement. Damn it, how could this be? I am your descendant. I have the purest bloodline in the Azure Dragon body. Why don't you acknowledge me? The second person roared crazily. Clearly, he could not accept this result. Barrier, there must be a problem with this barrier. I must break it. He instantly unleashed the Azure Dragon body. Then, he formed hand seals with his palm and slammed it forward. I can't attack. Meng Qing cried out in alarm. However, it was already too late. That person's Azure Dragon seal struck the barrier and caused it to tremble. Boundless light appeared on the barrier. The great Tao interweaved and sent that person flying. That young man vomited large mouthfuls of blood. He was seriously injured. Buzz. At the same time, Azure Dragon Mountain shook. Countless arrays shook as if they would be extinguished and shattered at any moment. What was going on? The people outside Azure Dragon Mountain saw this scene. Their expressions changed. Elder Zhang of the Azure Dragon race exclaimed, "What happened?" The people of the Winged Dragon race and the Saber Dragon race were also surprised. Could it be that they had been acknowledged? They were very worried. However, after waiting for a while, they realized that there was no terrifying aura coming out. They all laughed. It seemed that they had not succeeded. Humph, Azure Dragon race, don't waste your energy. Your people can't break the seal of the Azure Dragon Horn at all. Let us do it. Humph, if our Azure Dragon race can't do it, then your other Dragon Balls won't have a chance either. If you go back now, we can still let bygones be bygones. If you take another step forward, don't blame our Azure Dragon race for completely falling out with you. The Azure Dragon race's Grand Elder shouted coldly. The Winged Dragon race's Grand Elder snorted coldly. Do you still have the right to negotiate with us now? Old friend, are you still not coming out? As his voice fell, the world shattered. Heaven and earth shattered as another terrifying figure appeared. Terrifying sword energy pierced through the world. Not good, it was the Guardian Elder of the Saber Dragon race. The faces of the people of the Azure Dragon race became incomparably ugly. This was also a top Saint Venerable. Previously, they could still fight against him, but now that another one had appeared, their Grand Elder would probably not be able to fight against him. Sure enough, the Azure Dragon race's Grand Elder's face became incomparably ugly. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Were the people inside not done yet?" The third person inside had already completed his attempt, but he still failed. Although he was unwilling, he did not dare to get angry. After all, the second person was still seriously injured and almost killed. It was very dangerous to be disrespectful to the old master. Now, there were only two people left. As for Lin Xian, they directly ignored him. The other party was not from their Azure Dragon race at all. How could he be acknowledged? So, they placed all their hopes on Meng Qing. At this moment, Azure Dragon Mountain shook violently, and there was the sound of the array formation shattering. Not good, they were fighting their way in. These geniuses' faces became incomparably ugly. Meng Qing, quick, they reminded her. Meng Qing also cut her palm and rushed forward. The Azure Dragon Horn began to spin, and the dragon patterns on it flickered non-stop. A terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons filled the air. It seemed that the Azure Dragon Horn was about to awaken. Seeing this scene, the three Dragon Ball geniuses widened their eyes. Could it be that Meng Qing could be acknowledged? They were too shocked and envious at the same time. Chapter 4206. The blue dragon horn spun violently, making everyone nervous. Meng Qing took a deep breath. Was she going to succeed? But in the end, the seal was not completely broken. How was that possible? Could it be that Meng Qing had failed to? The three geniuses of the Blue Dragon tribe saw this scene, and their faces turned ugly. Meng Qing was also pale. To be honest, it was their first time facing the Blue Dragon horn, but it was not the first time for the entire Blue Dragon tribe. The most outstanding geniuses of each generation would come. They could not awaken the Blue Dragon horn. It could even be said that Meng Qing was the closest to awakening the Blue Dragon horn, but she still did not receive recognition. Could it be that the Blue Dragon horn could not be revived? At this moment, the Blue Dragon Mountain shook even more violently. The terrifying sound from outside had already been heard. It would not be long before the people from the two dragon tribes attacked. Damn it! Outside, the people of the Blue Dragon tribe had a look of despair in their eyes. Because these people had already fought to the entrance of the cave. The people of the Winged Dragon tribe and the Stegosaurus tribe laughed. It's useless. Stop struggling. You are no match for them. If you continue fighting, you will definitely die. They had a victorious smile on their faces. Inside the cave, Meng Qing and the others were also in despair. It's useless. It's a waste for us to stay here. Why don't we join the battle outside? These people clenched their fists. Meng Qing took a deep breath. No, we still have hope. Then, she looked at Lin Xian. The other three frowned. Do you think that an outsider can awaken the blue dragon horn? Why can't he? Didn't you feel that his dragon aura was extremely pure? Maybe he can really do it. Meng Qing looked at Lin Xian and said, Sword Maniac, go and try. Lin Xian took a deep breath and nodded. All right then. He walked up. He did not cut his palm because his blood was not dragon blood. He could only rely on the great dragon sword soul in his body and one other thing, which was the dragon tribe's breathing technique. He placed his hand on the barrier and slowly unleashed the power of the great dragon sword soul. The blue dragon horn instantly emitted a dazzling light as if it was coming to life. Seeing this scene, Meng Qing held his breath. The other three also widened their eyes in shock. Could this kid really do it? It was too unbelievable. However, they realized that they were still lacking a little. While it was stronger than Meng Qing's, it was still insufficient to fully revive the Azure Dragon Horn. Lin Xian looked at the scene in front of him calmly. He naturally knew that the great dragon sword spirit had fully recovered. Of course, it was possible. However, with his current strength, he could only do so much. However, it doesn't matter. He still has one more thing, and that is the Dragon Ball's breathing technique. After he activated it, every breath he took contained a mysterious power. Even Meng Qing and the others' dragon blood was pulsing with this power. This left them stupefied. What exactly was this? As for the azure dragon horn in front of him, the dragon mark on it blossomed. Suddenly, the sound of a bugle horn was heard. Crack, crack, crack. The enchantment around them shattered, and the voice spread out, shaking Mount Azure Dragon. The combination of the dragon's roar and the horn's sound seemed to transform into the roar of the Azure Dragon. It spread throughout the world. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Near Mount Azure Dragon, the great battle had stopped. The people of the Azure Dragon tribe were shocked. A dragon's roar could be heard. The Azure Dragon horn was revived. Great, they succeeded. These people were incomparably excited. How was this possible? The people of the Winged Dragon tribe and the Stegosaurus tribe were also stunned. Did they succeed? Could it be that the people of this generation of the Azure Dragon tribe really had the ability to defy the heavens? Damn it, they were just a little bit away. If they could fight their way to the cave, then they would have a chance to be recognized. However, now that the Azure Dragon horn had been revived, they had no hope at all. Sure enough, the entire Mount Azure Dragon erupted with an extremely powerful sound wave, forcing the people of the two great dragon tribes to retreat. Retreat quickly. The people of the Winged Dragon tribe and the Stegosaurus tribe were pale. Many of them were injured. Great. The people of the Azure Dragon tribe were incomparably excited. They felt their blood boiling. Who had obtained the recognition? These people all looked into the cave. Inside the cave, Meng Qing and the others were all stunned. They looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. Lin Xian was also surprised. He discovered that the Azure Dragon horn had arrived in front of him and was spinning non-stop in front of him. The aura of the Tao of Dragon emitted from it shocked him greatly. Did this thing recognize him? To be honest, Lin Xian was also surprised in his heart. He only had the great dragon sword soul and the dragon breathing technique, but he was not of the dragon tribe. He originally wanted to give it a try, but he did not expect it to succeed. Great, Sword Maniac, you really did it. Meng Qing cheered at the side. The other three geniuses, on the other hand, clenched their fists tightly. Their eyes were all red. This was a heaven-defying opportunity, and it was obtained by an outsider. Let's go. Our tribe is still waiting for us. Lin Xian nodded. He felt that the Azure Dragon horn should be able to solve this crisis. The group of people walked out, and the people outside were extremely excited. They were guessing who would be recognized by the Azure Dragon horn. Could it be that kid Songqi? He became a sacred venerate earlier than Meng Qing. An elder said. The others also nodded, but there were also people who said that it might not be. They felt that Meng Qing was more likely, although she was not the first to become a sacred venerate. However, her talent and bloodline might surpass the others. All right, let's stop arguing. They will come out soon, and we will know who was recognized by the Azure Dragon horn. These people widened their eyes, and soon they heard the sound of footsteps. They came out. When they saw a few figures come out, Their eyes shone brightly. The people from the two dragon tribes were also watching nervously. The first person did not have it, and the second person did not have it either. Could it really be Songqi? However, when they saw Songqi appear, he did not bring out the azure dragon horn. Who could it be? It could only be Mingqing. Great, this girl did not disappoint us. Many people laughed. The azure dragon tribe's great elder also smiled. However, when they saw Songqi walk out, they were dumbfounded. What was going on? Mengqing did not bring out the azure dragon horn. So who was it? Could it be that the azure dragon horn was not revived? The people of the azure dragon tribe became nervous again. The people from the two dragon balls were excited. Great, they still had a chance. When the last person appeared, everyone was dumbfounded. Lin Xian walked out. He held the azure dragon horn in his hand, and there was an extremely strong dragon aura on it. When he came out, he was the center of attention. That was the azure dragon horn. The people of the azure dragon tribe were the first to scream. In the next moment, everyone was shocked. How was it possible? How could that kid have gotten it? No way. The people of the azure dragon ball were stunned. The people of the two dragon tribes were also dumbfounded. Chapter 4207. Lin Xian looked around and said, "You didn't see wrongly. I've been recognized by the blue dragon horn." What? How is that possible? The people of the three great dragon clans roared crazily. They really couldn't believe it. Humph. The middle-aged man from the winged dragon tribe snorted and reached out his hand to grab Lin Xian. It seemed like he wanted to attack forcefully. How dare you? The people from the blue dragon tribe roared, but they were too late. After all, the other party had comprehended the laws of wind. It was terrifying. Lin Xian was still fearless in the face of the attack of the saint. He held the blue dragon horn and injected his strength into it. The blue dragon horn let out a terrifying sound. Then, the blue dragon mountain behind him seemed to come alive. It reached out a dragon claw and slapped over. It sent the middle-aged man from the winged dragon tribe flying. The first elder of the blue dragon tribe stepped forward and yelled coldly upon seeing this. He has already been recognized by the blue dragon horn. Do you still want to attack? Hearing this, the great elder of the winged dragon tribe fell silent. The guardian of the sword dragon tribe also looked terrible. They said, "Let's go." The people from the two dragon tribes left unwillingly. But so what if they were unwilling? They had no other choice. After these people left, the people from the blue dragon tribe heaved a sigh of relief. Many people looked at Lin Xian with complicated expressions. They hoped that the blue dragon horn would be revived. But they didn't expect that the blue dragon horn would be taken by an outsider. But fortunately, Lin Xian's dragon vein aura was strong. They were all from the dragon tribe, so they could accept it. And next, they would try their best to rope in Lin Xian. "Sir, this way please." They treated Lin Xian much better than before. They even treated him as a guest of honor. The young geniuses of the blue dragon tribe were not convinced at first, but at this moment, they all lowered their heads. They had no choice. Now that Lin Xian said that he wanted to attack them, their elders would probably do anything. They would be knocked to the ground. Lin Xian was also shocked. What's so special about the blue dragon horn? He secretly asked Mengqing, and Mengqing said that there was such a legend in ancient times. Back then, the dragon clan had once fought each other. Each of them claimed to be king, and no one was willing to submit to the other. Then, a super expert from the dragon tribe appeared and cut off one of the dragon horns of the blue dragon tribe's ancestor, then used it to command the dragons. At that time, this person was incomparably powerful, dominating a region. Let the many years of struggle for the Dragon Balls end. Since then, the azure dragon horn had become a supreme symbol. Legend had it that one could command the dragons. Therefore, not only the Blue Dragon clan, but the other dragon clans also wanted the approval of the blue dragon horn. Lin Xian was greatly surprised after hearing this. It turned out to be a symbol of wuxiang. Who would have thought that he would be the one to obtain it? When he thought of commanding the dragons, he felt extremely heroic. Following this, Lin Xian visited the land of the blue dragons and even browsed through the unique skills of the blue dragon tribe. He did not cultivate the azure dragon body. After all, he had the 9 young divine body. However, he was very interested in the blue dragon seal and the blue dragon 9 palms. Therefore, he wanted the complete cultivation technique to cultivate. In the following days, Lin Xian stayed in the land of the hidden dragons, cultivating these two divine abilities. However, on this day, the people of the Sword Dragon clan came. This time, the other party was not here to fight, but to apologize. They expressed their apology and then invited Lin Xian to their Sword Dragon clan as a guest. Lin Xian was very worried. Could this be a trap? However, the great elder of the Blue Dragon clan smiled and said, "You don't have to worry. If it was before, they might have some schemes. But now that you have obtained the approval of the Blue Dragon horn, they will not act rashly. They will only do their best to please you." Hearing this, Lin Xian was relieved. Therefore, he followed the messenger of the Sword Dragon clan and left. After arriving at the Sword Dragon clan, Lin Xian also received extremely high treatment. He was even able to browse some of the secret techniques and inheritances of the Sword Dragon clan. The sword controlling technique of the Sword Dragon clan was extremely terrifying. As an expert of the Sword Dao, Lin Xian was very happy about this. Thus, he decided to study it for a while. On the other side, the people of the Winged Dragon clan also sent a messenger to apologize. However, when they arrived at the land of hidden dragons, they learned that Lin Xian had already gone to the Sword Dragon clan. Therefore, they could only wait patiently. However, after waiting for a few months, they realized that Lin Xian still had not appeared. This made them somewhat unable to bear it. Could it be that they had completely offended him? They felt that the situation was not good, so they hurriedly went to the place of the Sword Dragon clan to wait. Fortunately, the Winged Dragon clan and the Sword Dragon clan had a good relationship. Therefore, the elder of the Sword Dragon Pearl told Lin Xian about this matter. After hearing this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He had obtained some cultivation technique inheritances from the Sword Dragon clan, which made him very happy. He knew if the Winged Dragon clan had any other inheritances. He was very interested in the other party's law of wind. Therefore, Lin Xian also prepared to go. After all, he was only one step away from breaking through to the Holy Venerate realm. However, at this moment, it was not the time to break through. Therefore, if he wanted to increase his strength, he could not break through from his cultivation. Instead, he had to obtain powerful strength from other laws and divine abilities. Therefore, he followed the elder of the Winged Dragon clan. The people of the Winged Dragon clan heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the other party had come. Otherwise, they would have been really frightened. Lin Xian cultivated the law of wind in the Winged Dragon clan and also cultivated the wind shakes the 9 heavens. This made him very happy. This way, his speed would become even faster than before. After the law of lightning, Lin Xian had another law. Just like this, a year's time was up in the blink of an eye. The people of the Blue Dragon clan all took a deep breath. Their eyes were filled with a shocking light. Because the day of the Dao debate had begun, the young geniuses of the Blue Dragon clan were incomparably excited. Lin Xian also clenched his fists. This Dao debate was very important to him. He must succeed and return to planet Xiyuan. This way, he would be able to break through and become a sacred sovereign. At the same time, in the entire second astral realm, not only the Blue Dragon clan, but also the top clans and sacred cities. It was also bustling. These people all prepared to take action. At the same time, the Acheron Palace also announced to the world. After all, as the host of this Dao debate, they naturally had to do everything well. This time, the Dao debate would be hosted in the Heavenly Wind World, which was a subsidiary world of the Acheron Palace. Once the news was out, the various sacred cities all took action. The Blue Dragon clan also prepared to take action. The Heavenly Wind World also became lively at this moment. Originally, the people of this world had been transferred to other worlds. Those who could come were all experts in the starry sky. They were either saints who had been famous for a long time or top geniuses. In short, it was extremely dazzling. And the weak were not qualified to come to this world. If they wanted to watch the battle, they could go to the other worlds to watch the battle. After Lin Xian and the people of the Blue Dragon clan arrived, he left. After all, he had some things to do. It was not convenient for him to be with the people of the Blue Dragon Pearl. He changed his appearance and used the name of the sword fanatic. Therefore, not many people recognized him. At this moment, he kept walking in the heavenly wind world and saw many geniuses and experts. These people gathered together and discussed intensely. Some of them even discussed martial arts and sparred. Lin Xian even saw a battle between two geniuses of the sacred cities. In the end, they were really angry. However, they did not fight to the death. Instead, they stopped. The smell of gunpowder was so strong. Lin Xian analyzed and knew that the Tao debate was related to the fate of each sacred city and their future benefits. These sacred cities naturally would not be soft-hearted. It was getting more and more interesting. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a shocking light. Chapter 4208. Look, that group of people should be from the Joyous Union Palace. Many of the passengers turned their gazes over. Then their eyes turned red. The people in front of him were really like fairies and witches. Two completely opposite temperaments were present in their bodies. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He knew that the Joyous Union Palace mainly cultivated illusions and soul attacks. It was too easy for them to use their souls to influence people. The surrounding people were discussing crazily. These fairies had come to participate as well. They were truly fortunate. He wondered if their most outstanding daughter of heaven, Qin Xiener, had come. They were disappointed when they didn't see Qin Xiener. However, some people said, "What's the big deal? Don't you know?" Recently, the Joyous Union Palace had also risen to prominence, along with the other heavenly beauties. For example, Yusiki. It was said that she had great potential. Everyone started discussing again. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't see Qin Xiener, but he saw Yusiki. She had become stronger than before and could enter the ranks of the top geniuses. This really surprised him. It seemed that her bloodline had really helped him a lot. However, he didn't care. No matter how strong she was still his subordinate. He only needed to use his soul. He would be able to make her submit completely. However, he was still worried about Qin Xiener. After all, he didn't know what happened in the Green Hill world. Did the Divine Empress attack Qin Xiener? At this moment, many powerful figures descended. They were from the Demon City. Many people exclaimed. As expected, many great demons came from the Demon City, and some of them even had very powerful bloodlines. After they arrived, they looked down on everything. Their aura made the surrounding people unable to breathe. That's nine-headed Qilin, right? He actually came out of seclusion. Someone exclaimed. They saw a handsome man. He stood with his hands behind his back like a god. At this moment, he saw that the people from the Joyous Union Palace had also walked over. He didn't know if Qin Xiener was here. Nine-headed Qilin's voice was unusually calm and full of confidence. The people from the Joyous Union Palace also looked over. So it's Ninth Young Master. Our senior sister isn't here. One of them smiled and said, Ninth Young Master, if you want to see our senior sister, you have to at least be on the pilgrimage roll. Indeed, Qin Xiener's status and strength were probably much stronger than those chief disciples. Oh, really? Do you think I'm not qualified? Nine-headed Qilin snorted coldly. He was enraged, and his power erupted. A terrifying Qilin aura spread out in all directions. As soon as this aura appeared, many people's expressions changed. Peak of Minor Saint. Their faces were filled with shock. How long had it been? The other party had actually reached the peak of Minor Saint. It was unbelievable. What had the nine-headed Qilin experienced? He was actually able to advance by leaps and bounds. Indeed, when they returned from celestial fate, none of them were little saints. After such a long time, it was already very impressive that he had broken through to the Minor Saint realm. However, he didn't expect that he could reach the peak of Minor Saint. Moreover, this was no ordinary peak Minor Saint. 9 Qilins, but they were unique beasts of heaven and earth. They possessed the bloodline of the Qilin tribe. How could they be considered top geniuses? Such a person would definitely be able to fight above his level. Nine-headed Qilin asked arrogantly when he saw the people around him discussing. Ladies, do you think I'm strong enough to meet your senior sister now? Indeed, he was very confident now. With his strength, he could definitely make it to the Saint Board. The people of Joyous Union Palace were also pale. To be honest, The other party's strength was indeed very strong. It was far from what they could compete with. Therefore, they nodded and said, "Of course, but our senior sister Qin isn't here now. I'm afraid ninth young lord will have to wait for some time." "Oh, really? Well, when senior sister Qin arrives, I'll let him know. Just tell him that I've admired him for a long time." Nine-headed Qilin turned and left with his people. Wherever he passed, no one dared to stop him. After he left, the people started to discuss again. Someone said, "I seem to have heard some news. It's said that some time ago, a true expert of the Qilin tribe will come to Myriad Demon City. Do you think nine-headed Qilin's strength has anything to do with that expert of the Qilin tribe?" Everyone was shocked when they heard it. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Nine-headed Qilin? He actually grew so fast. It seemed that not only him, but everyone had their own opportunities and could improve by leaps and bounds in a short period of time. However, Lin Xian didn't care about nine-headed Qilin. His current opponent was definitely at the level of a saint venerable. His opponent was just a peak minor saint. He didn't care about him anymore. However, at this moment, another exclamation came from afar. It turned out that nine-headed Qilin didn't go far with his people. He stopped again. This time, he was facing Yushirchia. This scene caused many people to be shocked once again. Nine-headed Qilin's eyes were also shining brightly. They didn't expect that other than Fairy Qin, such a talented girl would appear in Joyous Union Palace. "How should I address you?" Yushirchia smiled. Ninth young lord was too kind. He wanted to say something, but at this moment, a cold shout came. "Come here." The voice was like thunder. Everyone turned their heads. Yushirchia was stunned. In the next moment, her pupils shrank as she looked into the distance. Then, she took a deep breath and ignored nine-headed Qilin. She walked forward and soon came to the side of a man. Then, she stood beside him respectfully. "Oh my God, what's going on?" Everyone was stunned. Yushirchia was a talented girl who had just entered Joyous Union Palace. She could definitely enjoy supreme glory. But now, she was so respectful to a stranger. How strong was this person? What was his identity? For a moment, everyone looked at the figure in front of them and started discussing. The one who spoke was naturally Lin Xian. He didn't expect nine-headed Qilin to be so reckless. So, he ordered Yushirchia to come over. Yushirchia naturally didn't dare to resist. She could only stand beside him. "What's wrong? Are you surprised?" Lin Xian looked at her. Yusiki shook her head. She had never believed that Lin Xian had been killed by the Sage King's single palm. Because his soul imprint hadn't been removed, she knew that Lin Xian wasn't dead. But she didn't expect him to appear here. And he even changed his face. Everyone was guessing Lin Xian's identity. Nine-headed Qilin's face darkened. There was a cold glint in his eyes. Who dared to fight with him? They didn't know what was good for them. He turned his head and looked. The people of Thousand Demon City beside him also roared. "How dare you? Kid, who do you think you are? How dare you disturb our ninth young lord? Hurry up and come over here to die." Chapter 4209. Yes, that's right. If you know what's good for you, get over here and kowtow. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. Two great demons walked over. These two great demons were both minor saints. Their auras were extremely powerful. Everyone was waiting for a good show. They didn't know how this kid was going to deal with them. Lin Xian didn't make a move. Instead, he looked at Yusiki and said indifferently, "You should know what happens to those who provoke me." Hearing this, Yusiki didn't say anything. She waved her hand and two terrifying laws flew out, killing the two great demons. The two great demons' eyes widened. Their souls were directly torn apart. What? Looking at the scene of the two great demons being killed, the surrounding people were stunned. It was actually Yusiki who did it. Damn it. Who exactly was this person? The faces of the people from the Thousand Demon City also changed. Did the Joyous Union Palace want to become enemies with the Thousand Demon City? Nine-headed Qilin's face was also extremely cold. Was the other party slapping his face? Very well. Seems like I've been in seclusion for too long. No one knows my name. Since that's the case, I don't mind showing off my strength. He walked forward, and terrifying laws appeared on his body. A low roar of a Qilin sounded, accompanied by the hissing of a nine-headed sky snake. With two bloodlines, nine-headed Qilin could be said to be extremely powerful. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at the other party. Oh, you want to fight me? I advise you not to do so. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. This guy actually dared to threaten nine-headed Qilin. The surrounding people went crazy. One had to know that nine-headed Qilin was a peak minor saint. With his bloodline talent, he was probably invincible below Saint Venerables. He could even fight against saints. Who was this kid in front of them? They checked carefully, but they didn't find anything. In their opinion, the other party was at most a minor saint. Even if they were in the same realm, could he defeat nine-headed Qilin? Nine-headed Qilin's face sank. Reckless kid. I'll let you know what regret is later. Come out. I'll give you a chance to fight. You're here too. Just as Lin Xian was about to come out, a voice rang out between heaven and earth. Everyone turned their heads to look. In the next moment, they began to discuss. Nine-headed Qilin's pupils constricted as well. He saw a man in a blue robe walk out. This person's aura was very special. Who was this person? Many people were puzzled. However, they didn't dare to be careless. After all, the aura emitted by the other party was very terrifying. It was even scarier than the nine-headed Qilin's aura. This was definitely a top-notch expert. Nine-headed Qilin's face turned solemn. Others might not know, but he knew that this person was called Guan Songhai. He was a top-notch expert from the Azure Ocean Palace. Who would have thought that the other party would actually come here? So it was an expert from the Azure Ocean Palace. Nine-headed Qilin asked in a deep voice. However, Guan Songhai didn't care at all. Instead, he looked at Lin Xian. I knew you would definitely come, he said with a smile. Lin Xian smiled as well. Long time no see, brother Songhai. The two of them smiled and greeted him. The surrounding people were all stunned. Nine-headed Qilin's face turned cold. Damn it, he was being ignored. He was a heavenly beast, a top-notch sky pride. Who would dare to ignore him? But now, these two despicable fellows actually treated him like air. Damn it, he couldn't take it. Kid, you're too arrogant. I'll kill you myself. Nine-headed Qilin roared. Hearing this, Guan Songhai frowned. What's going on? Is this kid going to attack you? A cold light flashed in his eyes. It's nothing. He's just an arrogant guy who thinks that he has more lives than others. I'm going to take his life. Lin Xian said indifferently as if he didn't care about nine-headed Qilin at all. Hearing this, the surrounding people exclaimed. This guy wants to take nine-headed Qilin's life? Where did he get his confidence from? Could he really be an expert? Nine-headed Qilin's face turned ugly. To be honest, he knew that Guan Songhai was very powerful. He might even be stronger than him. If Guan Songhai was friends with someone like him, he definitely wouldn't be a weakling. He must be a top-notch sky pride. But he couldn't stand being ignored or even looked down on. So even if this person was a genius, he had to fight him. Brother Sword Maniac, are you really going to fight him? Our opponents are people like Wang Jini and Chao Tiansheng. I'm afraid he's not qualified to be our opponent. Hearing this, the crowd was stunned again. Nine-headed Qilin wasn't qualified? To be honest, this was like a dream. Nine-headed Qilin was a top-notch expert in the eyes of the crowd. He was even qualified to be on the pilgrim's roll. Indeed, some people thought that nine-headed Qilin was no weaker than Lin Xian back then. Speaking of Lin Xian, these people shook their heads and sighed. If this guy was still alive, he would have shone brightly this time. Well, he was too arrogant, so he was killed by the sacred master. Next was nine-headed Qilin, their world. But now, nine-headed Qilin was being ignored. Damn it. Nine-headed Qilin was trembling in anger. He fixed his cold gaze on Lin Xian. Damned brat, do you dare to give me a fight? Sure, although you're not qualified to be my opponent, I've been bored recently. Let's use you as a warm-up. Lin Xian nodded his head indifferently. Guan Songhai also looked at nine-headed Qilin and said, I advise you Demon City to take nine-headed Qilin away. Otherwise, you'll regret it. The people of Demon City gritted their teeth and said coldly, they didn't need Songhai Pavilion to worry about this matter. We have our own judgment. To be honest, they were extremely confident in nine-headed Qilin. Nine-headed Kylan had just received help from the Kylan clan. His bloodline had improved again, and his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. It wouldn't be a problem for him to fight a nameless genius. Kid, make your move. I'll let you know what regret is. Nine-headed Kylan's face was extremely cold. Lin Xian glanced at him and said indifferently, I advise you to make the first move, because if I make the first move, you might be killed instantly. Nine-headed Kylan snorted and didn't say anything. Instead, he kept forming seals with his palms, and a terrifying aura spread out from his body. Then, it turned into a terrifying palm and slapped forward. The palm wasn't big, but the law on it was extremely terrifying. Many of the surrounding geniuses held their breaths. They could feel a terrifying power. They were afraid that if they were hit, they would be smashed into pieces. The surrounding people sucked in a cold breath. They knew that Nine-headed Kylan was really angry. He wanted to kill Lin Xian with his secret technique. Lin Xian coldly chuckled. He was completely unfazed by the incoming palm. When it was close, he used the law of wind and left instantly. This attack hit his afterimage, and a pair of green wings appeared on his back, carrying him through the air at high speed. Trying to dodge? You can't dodge at all. He applied to become cold again. Myriad Beast's palm. He slapped his palm out again, and each attack was accompanied by a terrifying demonic aura. It was the secret technique of Demon City. When he used it, it was extremely powerful. Facing countless demonic beasts that covered the sky, Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. Instead, he raised his palm. His palms formed seals, and a dragon's roar was heard. Chapter 42:10. The Azure Dragon Seal. Carrying the imprint, he blasted forward. The world in front of him collapsed in an instant. The myriad beast fist was instantly destroyed. Bang! Nine-heads Cheelant's arms hung down and his body cracked. He was sent flying while vomiting blood. Boom! After crashing through a dozen mountain ranges, he finally stopped. Dust filled the air and the laws danced in the air. The spectators were stunned. They widened their eyes in disbelief. What did they just see? Nine-heads Cheelan was defeated with just one palm. Heavens, how is this possible? Who is this person? How is he so strong? That's Nine-heads Cheelan. Now that his strength had increased greatly and he was famous in the world, he couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lin Fan. Is this your strength? You're so weak that it's pitiful. You're not even qualified for me to warm up. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. No. In the ruins in the distance, Nine-heads Cheelan stood up after breaking through the mountains. His body was stained with blood. His handsome face had become extremely ferocious. This is impossible. I don't believe it. Who are you? He roared crazily. He couldn't believe that a nameless person was so strong. He was so powerful. Lin Xian said, You don't have the right to know my name. How are you going to beg for mercy now? Are you going to appease my anger? Damn it. I won't beg for mercy. I was careless just now. Nine-heads Cheelan roared again. The illusion of a Cheelan and a nine-headed sky snake appeared on his body. He held the sky snake sword and the Cheelan saber with both hands. The murderous intent on his body was incomparable. He brandished the saber and the sword, and the terrifying saber light and sword shadow slashed forward. The void shattered again. Retreat quickly. The surrounding people retreated frantically. This attack could even destroy the soul of a peak minor saint. Lin Xian sneered. He struck out the Azure Dragon Seal again. A loud dragon roar sounded. The illusion of an azure dragon appeared and danced in the air with his palm. It tore the saber light and sword shadow apart. Bang! Nine-heads Cheelan was sent flying again. In the next moment, he was stepped on by someone. Lin Xian looked down at him. Do you really think you're qualified to compete with me? He felt like he was going crazy. He never thought that he would be trampled under someone's feet. Damn it, only Lin Xian had given him such a feeling back then. However, Lin Xian was already dead. He had no enemies left. Why was he defeated by a nameless person? Damn brat. Take your foot off and let go of our ninth young master. The greater demons of the myriad demon city roared madly. Damn it, let go of me. Nine-headed Cheelan snorted coldly. He was extremely unhappy. He would definitely investigate this matter when he returned. Who was this person? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Let you go? You really are naive. Do you really think that you can fight whenever you want and leave whenever you want? This is not the Thousand Demon City. It is not your territory. No one has to listen to your orders. At this point, Lin Xian stomped his foot and blasted the nine-headed Qilin's body into pieces. The ground was also split into two. Demon blood splattered everywhere. Everyone was stunned. What did he do? Did he attack directly? Heavens, is he going to become enemies with the Thousand Demon City? Is he going to fight to the death? The nine-headed Qilin's soul let out a tragic cry. The Qilin and nine-headed sky snakes phantom roared madly. However, such a threat had no effect on Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The killing intent in his eyes pierced through everything. He grabbed the nine-headed Qilin's soul with one hand. I've said it before. If you attack me, you will have to suffer my wrath. Lin Xian waved his hand and destroyed the Qilin's soul. No. The people of the Thousand Demon City went crazy. The nine-headed Qilin was killed on the spot. It was too unbelievable. Damn it, they sent out a signal for help. He had to let them know that the experts of the Thousand Demon City were here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to fight back. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He naturally wouldn't go easy on them. Firstly, the nine-headed Qilin didn't know what was good for him. Secondly, it was time for revenge. When they came out of the gourd world, they were hunted down by the three Sage Kings. One of them was the Flying Sage King of the Thousand Demon City. Therefore, Lin Xian wouldn't go easy on the Thousand Demon City. I know you're not completely dead. You should still have a few lives left. But that's about it. You'd better pray that you don't meet me again. Otherwise, I'll take your other lives. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a wave of his robe, he turned around and left. The surrounding people were all stunned. They quickly opened up a path. They didn't dare to fight back. Lin Xian and Guan Songhai left. The people of the Thousand Demon City rushed forward crazily. Ninth Young Master and the others surrounded them. The nine-headed Qilin's bloodline exploded. His broken body healed again. Even his destroyed soul reappeared. Then, he was reborn. He roared at the sky as if he had gone crazy. Damn it! Although he had 9 lives, he had already lost many of them before. He was only left with 4. Now that another one had been destroyed, he was only left with 3 lives. The Sage Dao debate. It was so dangerous. Having more lives than others was his greatest trump card. But now, his trump card was disappearing quickly. When he was left with only 1 life, he would no longer have any advantage. At this moment, the terrifying aura of a Sage Sovereign descended from the sky. The 3 Sage Sovereigns appeared. They swept through the surroundings. Who dares to attack the people of the Thousand Demon City? The surrounding people trembled in fear. Of course, most of them had cold expressions. They were all disciples of the Sage City. They had status and weren't afraid of the Thousand Demon City. The 3 Sage Sovereigns of the Thousand Demon City didn't make things difficult for the others. Instead, they searched for the person who had attacked. But they didn't find anything. Damn it, he better not let me see him. Otherwise, I'll destroy his soul. The people of the Thousand Demon City were so angry that they vomited blood. But they could only leave. It would be more embarrassing if they stayed. The news spread quickly. A nameless expert had killed the 9-headed Qilin in 1 move. It was shocking. What was more shocking was that Guan Songhai was familiar with the other party. It seemed that it was another top expert. As expected of the Sage Dao debate, some of the hidden experts in the past would appear now. Everyone was looking forward to what would happen next. On the other side, Lin Xian and Guan Songhai had also left. Yu Shixia was also with them. Lin Xian looked at Yu Shixia and asked about Qin Xianer. Yu Shixia wouldn't lie, but she still shook her head and said that she didn't know. Senior sister Qin hasn't returned for a long time. We don't know where she is. Lin Xian frowned. She hasn't returned? Then she should still be in the Green Hill world. Thinking about it, with the fortune she had obtained, she shouldn't be in too much danger. He wondered if she had become a Sage Sovereign. In the next few days, more and more experts descended. Every aura was incomparably powerful. The heavenly wind world became lively again. Chapter 42:11. Lightning danced in the sky, as if the god of thunder had descended, piercing through heaven and earth. Everyone knew that the people from Thunder God City had arrived. On the other side, Sword Chi swept across, as if it had turned into a world, descending from the sky. Countless sword saints carried long swords on their backs, their expressions cold. Their arrival terrified countless people. The myriad sword pavilion had arrived. The people from Ghost Hell Land had arrived, and so had the New Moon Clan. The arrival of Bai Luo and Gao Yu caused countless people to exclaim. The two of them had already reached the small saint realm, and it seemed like their future achievements were limitless. The two of them. One was like a witch, while the other was like a fairy. The two of them fought together, and they were the center of attention. Who would have thought that there would be such fairies among the humans? At this moment, a laugh was heard, followed by a sword light. The surrounding people thought that the people from Myriad Sword Pavilion had arrived, and were shocked. However, they soon realized that it was not the case. The person who arrived had a horn on his head, and the scales on his body were shining. There were 5 purple sword shadows behind his back, and they were made of scales. What was this? The other party's aura was so strong. This was the people from the Dragon Clan. Exclamations could be heard. They did not expect that the Dragon Clan would also come, and a powerful Dragon Clan genius had arrived. The person who came was really Jianxing. When he saw Gao Yu and Bai Luo, the corners of his mouth rose. I wonder if the two fairies could give me face and have a meal together. Damn, the surrounding people's eyes were all red. You actually dared to invite the two of them together. Guan Songhai also shook his head. This Sword Dragon Clan's people were really arrogant. They simply did not leave any hope for the humans. Lin Xian chuckled. Could it be that Brother Songhai was interested as well? You can actually go up and invite them. Guan Songhai shook his head. Forget it. Gao Yu and Bai Luo frowned. Gao Yu said, another day. I'm a little tired today, and I don't want to rest. Unfortunately, I happen to have time today. Why don't we do it now? Jianxing did not back down. After all, he was an expert of the Dragon Clan, and he had confidence and pride. Why would he change because of the other party's words? Don't go too far. Ghost Hellland and New Moon Clan's people. Many people walked up. Jianxing laughed out loud. So what if I went overboard? At this point, the 5 sword shadows behind him released an unparalleled aura, causing those people to be terrified. In the Ghost Hell region, the New Moon Clan's people were pushed back by the Sword Chi, their faces pale. So terrifying. Is this the power of a top-notch prodigy of Dragon Ball? Perhaps only a handful of people from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion could compete with him in terms of swordsmanship, Jianxing said with a smile. Fairies, please. Bai Luo's face was pale, and Gao Yu was also frowning. It seemed that a great battle was unavoidable. The two of them looked at each other and made up their minds. The laws on their bodies also spread out. When Jianxing saw this scene, he laughed. Oh, the two fairies want to spar with me. All right, if I win, don't reject me. At this point, the aura on his body exploded once again. It was obvious that he had not used his full strength before. Seeing that a battle was about to break out, the crowd shook their heads. Even though Bai Luo and Gao Yu were both blessed by the heavens and possessed great strength and talent, they didn't dare to offend the heavens. However, he was still too young after all. It was impossible for him to contend against an expert like Jianxing. Even if the two of them worked together, they would still be defeated. There was no other way. Gao Yu and the others were dazzling before. However, this was a battle to win the heavens. Regardless of age, all the experts would come. Hence, the two of them were not the strongest here. Now that they were being suppressed by Jianxing, their hearts sank. At this time, Lin Xian spoke again. He said coldly, All right, don't mess around here. Leave quickly. When these words came out, the crowd was stunned. Who would dare to meddle in other people's business at this time? They all forgot about it. Jianxing frowned. Meddling in his business? Did they have a death wish? He snorted coldly, and the sword intent on his body exploded. I want to see who it is. Before he finished speaking, he saw Lin Xian. In the next moment, he was stunned and revealed an expression that was uglier than crying. Why are you here? He asked cautiously. Get out of here. Lin Xian frowned again. Without another word, Jin Xing turned into a ray of light and left. Everyone was stunned. Oh my god, what's going on? He was a sword Dao expert from Dragon Ball. His strength was unparalleled. No one present could suppress him. But now, he ran away because of a person's words. Who was this person? They all turned their heads to look. Some people were puzzled. He was so unfamiliar. They didn't know him at all. However, there were also a few people who exclaimed. It was him. They had seen the battle before. Naturally, they recognized Lin Xian from the battle with hydrogen. However, they didn't expect him to be so strong that he could scare away the people from the Dragon Clan. Now, they were very curious about the identity of this person. Were they saved? Bai Luo and Gao Yu breathed a sigh of relief. The two of them looked ahead and were equally puzzled. Who was this person? Why did he save them? Could it be that he had other ideas? The two of them were very nervous. Lin Xian's gaze was calm. He nodded slightly at the two of them, then retracted his gaze. Bai Luo and Gao Yu were stunned. The other party's performance made them feel disappointed. Could it be that they were not worthy of his attention? Guan Songhai was also surprised. I'm getting more and more interested in you. Could it be that you were related to the Dragon Clan? He was indeed surprised. He had heard of Sword Star. The Dragon Clan was definitely arrogant and unruly. Moreover, they were very strong. Even he couldn't scare the other party away with a single sentence. However, Lin Xian did it. This made him feel extremely surprised. Lin Xian said, I've seen that guy before. He was probably scared by my previous attack. All right, let's go. He hasn't become a sacred venerate yet. He's not worthy of our attention. Guan Songhai nodded because he had also broken through to become a sacred venerate. Therefore, his opponents could only be people of the same level. They didn't care about the other geniuses. In the next few days, it became more and more lively. More experts arrived. However, on this day, a shocking piece of news spread. It turned out that a great battle had broken out. Moreover, it was the Great Desolate Mansion. It was said that the Great Desolate Mansion had lost a few geniuses. At this moment, they were furious. Who could be so powerful? Everyone was shocked. It was too unbelievable. Could it be one of the legendary peerless experts? No, it was a woman. She was the previous holy maiden of the Spirit Clan. When he heard the news, Lin Xian was also stunned. Could it be that they were going to find Xiaoer? He had forgotten that when he spread the news, the Crimson Dragon and Murong Qingqing might know that he was still alive. However, Shun Jingqiu didn't know. He guessed that she was helping him take revenge. Therefore, he hurried over. In front of a huge waterfall, 6 figures surrounded a woman. Countless spectators were discussing the battle in the surroundings. Terrifying laws and spatial cracks were spreading between the heavens and the earth. Chapter 42:12. The 6 people from the Great Desolation Mansion executed the Desolation Summoning Technique and summoned 4 figures each. The 24 figures and the 6 saints from the Great Desolate Mansion formed an inescapable net. At this moment, many people started to worry. Shun Jingqiu must be here to avenge Lin Xian. However, it was a pity that she couldn't fight against the Great Desolate Mansion alone. Someone sighed. Yes, it was a pity that such a fairy had fallen. However, what could they do about it? Facing the might of the Great Desolate Mansion, no one dared to make a move at this moment. Shun Jingqiu, how dare you fight against the Great Desolate Mansion? That brat is already dead. Why don't you submit to the Great Desolate Mansion? The 6 of them revealed sinister smiles. Along with a cold shout, the 24 figures behind them moved quickly. A terrifying, desolate aura filled the 9 heavens. Shun Jingqiu's expression was cold as a terrifying aura emerged from her body. Terrifying laws flew out along with her palm. The laws condensed into a sword light that shot towards the 24 figures. The void began to crack as the sword light passed by. It's useless. You're no match for us. The 6 of them were extremely confident. The battle broke out in an instant. Soon, the desolate aura completely enveloped Shun Jingqiu. She should be suppressed. Everyone shook their heads and sighed when they saw this. Lin Xian arrived at this moment. When he saw this, a cold, killing intent surfaced in his eyes. However, he didn't make a move because he sensed with his lightning god eyes that there was a terrifying law protecting Shan Jingqiu. She wasn't injured. What kind of changes did Qiu'er go through? Lin Xian was shocked. Ever since he returned from the heavenly fate planet, he realized that he couldn't see through Shan Jingqiu. Now, he was even more puzzled. The power in her body had shocked him. Everything was over. The 6 silhouettes walked forward. However, 9 rays of light slashed down from the sky at this moment. Accompanying them was the phantom of a phoenix. The phoenix's cry resounded through the 9 heavens. Immediately, the 6 figures were pushed back. 3 of them vomited blood and their bodies shattered. Damn it, who dares to meddle in our business? They were truly enraged. There was someone who was so reckless and dared to go against the great desolate mansion at the very last moment. The surrounding people also exclaimed in surprise. In the next moment, their eyes widened. Another fairy-like figure had descended. The other party was dressed in white, as if he had ascended to immortality. Furthermore, there was a phoenix phantom on his body. Could it be that someone from the Phoenix clan had come? Countless people were shocked. The people of the great desolate mansion frowned as well. However, they soon discovered that it wasn't the case. It was Morong Qingcheng. She was the saintess of the Kunlun Pavilion. She had actually come. She was probably here to avenge Lin Xian. Lin Wudi really made people envious. Indeed, countless people's eyes turned red. However, there were also people who sneered. So what? No matter how good he was still killed. The faces of the 6 people from the great desolate mansion turned cold as well. So it's you. Morong Qingcheng. Do you want to make an enemy out of the great desolate mansion? You have to think about the consequences. These people gritted their teeth. Morong Qingcheng floated down from the sky and said coldly, "So what if I'm your enemy? If you dare to lay your hands on Brother Xian, I'll kill everyone from the great desolate mansion in the future." Having said that, she slowly formed a seal with her palm. A terrifying aura was emitted from the seal. Kunlun palm. Subsequently, Morong Qingcheng waved her palm and pressed it down from the sky. It was like the palm of an ancient god with mysterious runes of the great Tao. It's so terrifying. What kind of power is this? This should be the ultimate technique of the Kunlun Pavilion. Many people exclaimed in horror. Damn it! How dare you look down on us? The 3 sages of the great desolate mansion roared in anger. They unleashed their ultimate techniques one after another. The aura of desolation spread between heaven and earth, turning the entire place into a desolate place. Boom, boom. The 2 attacks collided, causing heaven and earth to shatter. Everyone felt as if they were in a destructive torrent. Boom, boom, boom. That feeling only lasted for a moment. In the next moment, the aura of desolation was torn apart by a palm. The 3 sages of the great desolate mansion were instantly smashed into a bloody mist. What? She killed them with a single palm. Moreover, she killed 3 pinnacle existences. This Morong Qingcheng is too terrifying. Many people were shocked. The other 3 sages had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, they roared. However, at this moment, they retreated once again with blood flowing from the corners of their mouths. This was because Shen Shuqiu, who was being suppressed by the 24 sages, suddenly unleashed his power. The 24 sages were instantly sent flying, turning into an aura of desolation that spread between heaven and earth. A cosmic form of heaven and earth appeared behind Shan Jingqiu. It was unusually mysterious and had an aura of desolation. It stood between heaven and earth. The moment she attacked, she shattered the 24 sages of desolation. She attacked again and killed the other 3 sages of the great desolate mansion. All of a sudden, everyone from the great desolate mansion was killed. Qiu'er, are you all right? Morong Qingcheng looked at Shan Jingqiu with concern. Shan Jingqiu shook her head. Sister Miss Seductress, I'm fine. These people from the great desolate mansion can't hurt me. This scene was truly too shocking. They never would have thought that these 2 goddess-like figures would actually possess such strength. Are they courting death? There's only one outcome for going against the great desolate mansion. A cold voice sounded from the bloody mist in the sky. Then, More figures appeared in the distance. Obviously, the people from the great desolate mansion had come to help. Moreover, these people summoned the power of desolation the moment they arrived. In an instant, they summoned 5 times the number of people. 10 sages of the great desolate mansion summoned 50 sages. A total of 60 sages surrounded Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu. This situation was much more dangerous than before. It's over. This time, it's really dangerous. The people who were watching the battle retreated while shaking their heads and sighing. Murong Qingqing looked at this scene and asked, "Qiu, are you afraid?" Shen Jingqiu shook her head. "They're no match for me. Today, I'm going to avenge brother Lin Xian." Their ethereal voices sounded in the sky. Lin Xian was touched when he saw this. He wouldn't let the two of them take the risk. Therefore, he asked, "Brother Songhai, are you going to watch the show, or are you going to join me?" A terrifying murderous aura surged from Lin Xian's body. He was like a sleeping dragon that was quickly awakening. Guan Songhai was surprised. "Are you going to join the fight?" "Difficult. Do you know those 2 goddesses? Or are you related to Lin Wudi?" "Me? I'm just not used to seeing the great desolate mansion bullying me. Therefore, I'm going to get rid of them." A dragon roar sounded from Lin Xian's body. In the next moment, he turned into a streak of light and flew forward. Chapter 42:13. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms and slapped out the azure dragon seal. In an instant, a few azure dragon phantoms charged into the crowd of the great desolate mansion along with the seal. A loud explosion was heard. 9 figures were instantly sent flying. Miserable screams were heard, and the surrounding people were stunned. Someone actually dared to attack. Who is it? The people of the great desolate mansion roared in anger. Kill. They unleashed the power of the heavens, and the terrifying desolation law filled the air. "Haha, I'm coming too." Guan Songhai laughed. The power of the sea surged and swept across the 9 heavens, turning the entire world into an ocean. They felt a strong binding force that sealed them, making them unable to move. Murong Qingqing, Shen Jingqiu, and the others quickly attacked. The 4 of them fought. The 60 phantoms of the great desolate mansion were running around. They should have had the upper hand, but they were defeated by the 4 of them. Oh my heavens, who are these 2? They're too terrifying. I know that one. He's a top sky pride of the Azure Sea Pavilion, but I don't know about the other one. He seems to have a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragon. Could he be a member of the Dragon Tribe? Damn it, many of them charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his palms. Every palm strike was accompanied by the power of the Azure Dragon. Moreover, Lin Xian used the breathing technique of the Dragon Tribe, making the phantoms of the Azure Dragon seem to come alive. Boom, boom, boom. A single palm strike was enough to destroy a top sage of the great desolate mansion. 9 of them were killed by 9 palms. Blood mist filled the air, terrifying everyone. What kind of power was this? One had to know that those who could come here were not ordinary saints. They were all elites among elites, yet none of them had any power to fight back in the hands of Lin Xian. It was truly shocking. Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu were also stunned. However, they smiled when they saw Lin Xian blinking his eyes. "It's brother Xian," Murong Qingqing exclaimed. She knew that Lin Xian wasn't dead, so she recognized him immediately. Shen Jingqiu was stunned for a moment, but after Murong Qingqing's telepathic message, she understood. She heaved a sigh of relief. Great, big brother Lin Xian didn't die. However, she also knew that since she had changed her appearance and concealed her aura, she did not want others to discover her identity. So she didn't recognize him right away. Instead, he attacked even more fiercely. The cosmic form behind her was like the fairy of the 9 heavens, powerful to the extreme. Every move carried the supreme great Tao. Murong Qingqing transformed into a phoenix and swept across the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The people of the great desolation mansion went crazy. They had gained an absolute advantage and could even suppress and seal the 2 of them. However, he did not expect that there would be people who dared to come to his rescue. Moreover, these 2 people were extremely powerful, especially the person who struck out with the Azure Dragon Seal. It made them vomit blood. The other party's attacks were too violent. Every move was capable of killing a powerful saint on their side. Damn it, I'll kill this brat first. They felt that Lin Xian was the biggest threat. Therefore, they were prepared to attack Lin Xian first. However, it was useless. Those people couldn't even get close to Lin Xian and were sent flying by the Azure Dragon Palm. Damn it, you guys back off. I'll do it. At this moment, a man roared and walked out. He was wearing the desolate war armor. His palms were forming seals continuously. The desolate war aura spread out rapidly and formed a giant. Desolate war aura. This was also an ultimate mystic skill. When the desolate war god appeared, the pressure of the heavens and earth followed. The surrounding experts and geniuses could not breathe. This was too strong. He could even fight against them, right? As expected of the Tao debate, there were no weaklings here. After that person summoned the desolate war god, he revealed a cold expression. Brat, I'll let you know what regret is today. The terrifying desolate war god attacked quickly. That palm slapped down, bringing with it an extremely powerful pressure as the raging waves crashed onto the shore. Lin Xian snorted coldly and attacked with the Azure Dragon 9 palms. 9 consecutive attacks. The 9 Azure Dragons seemed to have come to life under the Dragon Clan's breathing technique and fused into a giant dragon. The divine dragon swung its tail and collided with the desolate war god. Boom! The two's laws and mystic skills collided between heaven and earth, creating a destructive storm. Under everyone's horrified gaze, the desolate war god's palm shattered. Then, it turned into the desolate war aura. The great Huangfu's expert also trembled and retreated. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Impossible! The surrounding people exclaimed. They couldn't believe it. The desolate war god was already able to resist the attack of a sacred venerable, but he still couldn't defeat his opponent? Could it be that this brat was a sacred venerable? Senior brother, let us help you. The young geniuses also rushed over. It seemed that they wanted to join forces to kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked up to the sky and laughed. Are you a bunch of ants? He swung his fist and attacked with the tiger demon fist. A terrifying whistling sound rumbled between heaven and earth. This was an even more violent and destructive fist technique. The dozens of figures that approached him were all destroyed. Sacred blood scattered between heaven and earth. No, retreat quickly. The man roared crazily. However, Lin Xian held the Azure Dragon Seal again and attacked him. With a single strike, that person's body was blasted into pieces. Quite a few people roared. Were their senior brothers killed by someone? Buzz. A soul flew out from the broken body. Damn brat, I won't let you off. The great desolate mansion will definitely kill you. He flew into the distance. However, Lin Xian sneered. He raised his hand and a sword light flew out. It was the sword-controlling technique of the Sword Dragon clan. It carried the aura of the great dragon sword soul that could destroy everything. It directly killed the opponent's soul. The man let out a miserable scream before his soul was destroyed. Everyone was stunned. This person was too powerful. He was definitely a top genius. At the same time, they were amazed because other than Lin Xian, Guan Songhai and the others were also extraordinary. As expected of the Tao debate, the geniuses who came here were too dazzling. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As for the people of the great, desolate mansion, their faces were filled with despair. Damn it, who the hell are you? Some of them stared at Guan Songhai. We don't have any grudges with the Songhai Pavilion, right? Guan Songhai sneered. We don't have any grudges. However, since my brother wants to attack you, I can only help. If you don't like it, you can start a war with us. Hearing this, the people of the great, desolate mansion snorted. What a joke. Previously, because of Lin Xian, they had already started a war with Peerless City. In the end, they suffered heavy losses. Many worlds were destroyed by Peerless City. If they were to start a war with the Songhai Pavilion, their losses would be even greater. Therefore, they wouldn't start a war with the Sacred City unless they had no other choice. However, the other party was too much. So what if they bullied you? Lin Xian held the Songhai Dragon Seal and attacked with both hands. He directly killed the 3 figures. Then, An extremely cold killing intent erupted from his eyes. Great desolate mansion, none of you who came today can leave. Now, these people knew that they had gone too far. Previously, when the three sage kings were chasing after him, did they think that they had gone too far? Right now, he was simply giving him a taste of his own medicine. This time, he must let the great desolate mansion know what pain was. Chapter 42:14. Indeed, under Lin Xian's powerful attack, the people from the great desolate mansion were instantly crushed. The desolate figures that were summoned were also killed mercilessly. Eventually, only one person was left. This person was covered in injuries. He screamed in horror, "Come and save me! How dare you attack the people of the great desolate mansion? No one will be spared today." A terrifying killing aura filled the air. When the surrounding people sensed it, their eyes widened. A sacred sovereign, a real sacred sovereign had descended. Sure enough, a large hand descended from the sky, charging towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. A pair of gale wings appeared on his back. He used the laws of wind to increase his speed to the extreme. He dodged instantly. In the next moment, he looked to the front. The void shattered, and a figure wrapped in a boundless aura of desolation walked out from the void. It was a middle-aged man. His aura was very powerful. He was at the beginning stages of the sacred sovereign realm. It's over. That kid is dead for sure. Yes, no matter how strong he is, he can't go against a real sacred sovereign. Murong Qingsheng, Shin Jingqiu, and the rest frowned. The sacred sovereign that appeared sneered. Go to hell. A desolate heaven seal slammed down and enveloped Lin Xian. With a boom, the place turned into nothingness. The sacred sovereign sneered. A mere ant dares to go against me? You overestimate yourself. Was he killed? The surrounding people were shocked. The difference was too great. Yes, it was difficult for anyone below the sacred sovereign realm to go against a sacred sovereign, unless they had a heaven-defying sacred weapon. This kid was too arrogant. He deserved to die. Now that I've taken care of one of you, I won't let the other three go. The sacred sovereign's gaze was fixed on Murong Qingsheng and the rest. However, at this moment, a voice sounded. You're just Oso. You're too weak. Didn't you eat? What? He didn't die? When the surrounding people heard the voice, they were stunned. They all turned their heads to look. They saw a figure walk out from the shattered void. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by laws. He was unscathed. How was that possible? Countless people were shocked. He wasn't injured? What kind of physique was this? That was an attack from a saint venerable. Sure enough, the holy venerate's expression sank. You are not injured. It seems like you have a saint artifact on you to defend yourself. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant in front of me. In his opinion, it was absolutely impossible for the other party to survive with his own strength. He must have a treasure in his hands. Is that so? Just because I can block your attack, does that mean I have a treasure? And you being able to kill me is your true strength? You really think too highly of yourself. I wonder if you'll still think the same way when I kill you later. Do you really think you can kill me? The saint sneered. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Now, go to hell. His figure flashed, and the desolate aura behind him turned into a stream of light, carrying him towards Lin Xian. Previously, it was just a casual attack from him, which was why his opponent was able to survive. Now, he was going to unleash his full power. So what if his opponent had a sacred weapon? He could kill them all the same. Looking at the Saint Venerable's fist, Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He waited until the Saint Venerable was near him before he attacked. Similarly, he threw out a punch. The first move of the Tiger Demon Fist, Army Destroyer. The punch was filled with boundless killing intent, as if it was going to destroy everything. Although his opponent was a true Saint Venerable. So what? Lin Xian was not afraid of the Saint Venerable at all. Boom. You're courting death. Go to hell. Seeing that Lin Xian did not dodge and dared to fight back, the Saint Venerable was filled with disdain. He was confident that he could defeat Lin Xian with this move. However, when his fist collided with Lin Xian's fist, he regretted it immediately. That was because he could feel an unparalleled power surging toward him. Even with his strength and physique, he could not withstand it. Boom! With a deep sound, the Saint Venerable retreated. He shattered the void, and his arm hung down. A few cracks appeared on his palm. He was at a disadvantage in a contest of physique when he used all his strength to fight against Lin Xian. It was something that he could not imagine. The others were even more shocked. Oh my God! What kind of physique does this kid have? Why do I feel that he's going to defy the heavens? Exclamations and discussions could be heard. When Xin Jingqiu of Murong Qingqing saw this scene, she smiled. The corners of his mouth raised into a smile. They knew that Lin Xian would not be defeated. Guan Songhai was also surprised. He could feel that Lin Xian had not become a true Saint Venerable. However, Lin Xian's current strength was not any weaker than a Saint Venerable. He was really surprised. Although Lin Xian was only one step away from becoming a Saint Venerable, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. As I said, you are no match for me at all, Lin Xian said lightly. Despicable kid, don't be so arrogant. The Saint Venerable roared and spat out a pagoda from his mouth. There was a terrifying great Tao on the pagoda. Obviously, it was his sacred artifact. Lin Xian glanced at it, but did not care. You want to use a sacred artifact to deal with me? I can only say that you are too trashy as a Saint Venerable. I think you are wasting resources by living, so you can go to hell. The terrifying law of wind appeared on Lin Xian's body. At the same time, the law of lightning spread out. As the wind and lightning collided, he turned into an extremely fast bolt of lightning and rushed out in an instant. You are courting death. The pagoda above his head took out a treasured saber and swept it in all directions. At the same time, his broken arm quickly healed. He used all kinds of divine skills to fight with his opponent. However, the more he fought, the more shocked he became because he realized that whether it was his divine skills or sacred artifacts, his opponent could take them all with his bare hands. Moreover, he was not injured. The strength of Lin Xian's physique was beyond his imagination. In the 13th move, he was punched through and his arm exploded. In the 15th move, the pagoda above his head was directly sent flying by the Azure Dragon Seal. Then, his entire body was split in half. Oh my God! The people around us are all dumbfounded. What did they just see? A young genius was actually beating up a Saint Venerable. What kind of scene was that? The last surviving saint of the great desolate mansion thought that he had been saved. He even thought that he could kill his opponent. However, he was now in despair. The expert in his eyes, a dignified Saint Venerable, was actually unable to fight back. In the end, the Saint Venerable actually escaped. Seeing that the Saint Venerable had escaped, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He waved his hand and countless sword chi flew out. Sword controlling array. Hearing this, the Saint Venerable's soul that was escaping in front felt his scalp explode. This was because he felt spatial fluctuations coming from all directions, and a biting cold aura appeared. The boundless sword chi completely sealed the space he was in. The biting cold law of wind controlling array caused the world to tremble. No, the Saint Venerable's soul tried his best to dodge. However, under the sword controlling array, his soul was completely penetrated. In the end, his soul was destroyed. Chapter 42:15. Is he dead? A bona fide holy venerate was directly killed by someone. The surrounding people were flabbergasted. What kind of heaven-defying combat strength was this? Who would have thought that such a terrifying genius would appear before the heavenly Tao discussion? They wondered which power this person belonged to. Let's go. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the azure dragon phantom enveloped the few of them. Then, he tore open the void and disappeared. The spectators knew that a huge commotion was about to happen. The Great Desolate Prefecture would definitely not let this matter rest. Indeed, the 6 Tao holy sovereigns descended from the Great Desolate Prefecture and began to sweep through. However, the 6 Tao holy sovereigns had already disappeared. They could only grit their teeth and snort. It would be best if they did not meet them in the heavenly Tao discussion. Otherwise, they would let them know what regret and despair was. In an instant, The news spread and shocked the entire heavenly wind world. On the other side, Lin Xian left with the few of them. He sent a message to Morong Qingqing and Shan Jingqiu. When there was no one around at night, they would meet again. Night fell. Lin Xian left behind a clone, and then his real body used the void escape to leave. Lin Xian flew over according to the address that Morong Qingqing and the others left behind. He saw Morong Qingqing and Shan Jingqiu waiting for him. Big brother Lin Xian. Shan Jingqiu's eyes turned red instantly. Morong Qingqing also said, "I was scared to death." Lin Xian said, "Don't worry. I can protect myself even without the great sage tower. Let's go in." The three of them entered the palace, and Lin Xian set up a formation. In the next few days, Lin Xian stayed with the two of them, waiting for the heavenly Tao discussion to begin. On this day, the entire sky was lit up. Countless terrifying auras descended, and everyone in every corner of the world stood up. Their expressions were solemn because they knew that a holy king had arrived. This was a supreme aura that only a holy king could emit. There were 9 mutated beasts roaring in the sky. They were all ancient mutated beasts and were extremely powerful. They were pulling a war chariot. They broke through the clouds and slowly flew over. A terrifying aura enveloped heaven and earth, causing everyone to tremble. Within the war chariot, a figure walked out. The demonic chi emanating from his body was even scarier than before, as though a ferocious beast had just awoken. It was the Saint King of the 10,000 demons, the Flying Sky Saint King. After the Soaring Sky Saint King arrived, he looked down on the world and accepted the worship of countless people. However, at this moment, a dozen great demons appeared in the void and knelt down on one knee. "Greetings to the Holy King. We were incompetent and caused the 9th young lord to be injured. Please punish us, Sacred King." "Saint King, please avenge us." These people's voices rang out. The surrounding people were in an uproar. During this period of time, they naturally knew that after the 9-headed Qilin's powerful arrival, it was killed once again. Now, he only had 3 lives left. Soaring Sky Saint King's face turned ugly when he heard the news. Damn it, what a bunch of trash. So many people, but they can't even protect one person? The greater demons below were trembling. Once the Saint King was enraged, no one could stop him. They could only kneel and beg for mercy. "Saint King, please spare their lives." However, that brat was too strange. "We were careless and failed to protect him." "Who was it?" Soaring Sky Saint King asked coldly. Could it be that a sacred venerate had made a move? If that was the case, he didn't mind killing the other party personally. He wanted to let the other party know what it was like to bully the weak. However, those greater demons said that it was a young man who hadn't reached the sacred venerate level. His name was Sword Maniac. He wasn't a sacred venerate, and he was from the younger generation. Soaring Sky Saint King's face turned incomparably dark. This way, he had no excuse to make a move. The competition between the younger generation was something that he couldn't interfere with. If he interfered, he would be breaking the rules. Damn it, he really deserved to die. Where did this genius come from? How could he be so strange? He had to investigate this matter properly. Of course it was here. He couldn't say. Instead, he waved his hand and said, "Get in here." Those greater demons brought the 9-headed Qilin into the golden chariot. Then, the 9-headed beast roared. They quickly tore through the void and flew into the distance. I think Soaring Sky Saint King will vomit blood from anger. That's for sure. The genius under him was supposed to be incomparably dazzling, but he suffered such a loss as soon as he arrived. His heart will probably bleed. Do you think Soaring Sky Saint King will make a move? That's impossible. That kid looks very young. The competition between the younger generation doesn't need a Saint King to personally make a move. That's not necessarily true. Don't forget how Lin Wudi was killed. Indeed, when these words came out, many people fell silent. Lin Wudi was such a dazzling, peerless genius. He would definitely become a Saint King in the future. He could even become a great god. Such a person didn't die in the competition between the younger generation, but was killed by a Saint King. It was really regrettable. Someone said, "Stop talking. Do you want to die? Don't forget who the host is this time." That was the Acheron Palace. If they heard us talking about Lin Xian, all of us would be killed. These people's faces instantly turned pale, and they didn't dare to say anything. Not long after soaring sky Saint King arrived, thunder rumbled between heaven and earth. The thunder god city's Saint King also arrived. The great Tao, intertwined with lightning, carried a majestic figure as he walked over. He was called Myriad Thunder Saint King. His strength was terrifying, and he had the power to destroy heaven and earth. After Myriad Thunder Saint King arrived, he gathered the thunder god saints. Then, he occupied a position in the world. Then, endless sword chi fell, and a figure that looked like a sword god appeared. There were two ancient swords on his back, emitting a biting cold light. With a light wave, he could split a world. The Myriad Sword Pavilion Saint King, the Divine Ghost Sword King. It was said that his sword technique had unpredictable power. Other than that, the Great Desolate Mansion, Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion, and Limitless Sect Saint Kings also arrived. Peerless Saint King also came. He had delicate features, like a 16 or 17-year-old youth. However, the Saint King aura on him was not to be underestimated. Not only did he come, but he also brought a large number of experts and geniuses from Peerless City. These Saint Kings all found a position in the world. They dominated a region. Some of the top clans also came, such as the Blue Dragon Clan and the Winged Dragon Clan. Although they weren't Sacred City, their strength and foundation weren't any weaker than Sacred City. The surrounding people were amazed. These were super forces and Saint Kings. It was rare to see even one Saint King, but now there were so many Saint Kings. It was truly a sight that was hard to come by in 1,000 years. The people from Acheron Hall hadn't arrived yet, right? Someone exclaimed. Someone said, "Why are you panicking? They are the last to arrive." Sure enough, after waiting for a long time, countless Acheron diagrams appeared. Then, one after another, Acheron figures appeared. The one standing in the center was the Silver Corpse Saint King. His aura made everyone's scalp tingle, as if their lives were about to be taken away. When Lin Xian saw this figure, he frowned. A hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes. It was the other party who had almost killed him with a single palm strike. There would be a day when he would personally avenge this grudge. Although he didn't have the strength to fight against a Saint King, he wouldn't let anyone from the 3 sacred cities go. Chapter 42:16. Following that, more families and holy cities arrived. The Joyous Union Palace's prestige also arrived. She was called the Closed Moon Sage King. Not only did she come, but she also brought a few people with her. Xian was among them. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that. It seemed like Xian wasn't in any danger. However, he was puzzled as he didn't see anyone from the Green Hill Nine-Tails race participating in the battle. As for the reason behind it, he didn't know. After waiting for another 3 days, the Silver Corpse Sage King stood up when he saw that no one had arrived. He said in a clear voice, welcoming everyone to the Holy Heavens Tao discussion. This is a grand event in the second astral world. Your names will be recorded in the Holy Hall in the future. This is an unparalleled honor. Therefore, you must give it your all in this Holy Heavens Tao discussion. Don't let down the holy city's expectations of you. Many people clenched their fists when they heard that. This was an opportunity. If they could stand at the end, they would be able to obtain an unparalleled opportunity. They might even be able to leave the second astral world and head to the legendary Holy Lands. Their future achievements might even surpass the holy city. When they thought of that, they felt a surge of excitement. All right, let's not talk anymore. I now announce the start of the Holy Heavens Tao discussion. A loud voice exploded between heaven and earth as the Silver Corpse Sage King formed a hand seal and pressed it against the void. The entire sky shattered and the earth shook. Everyone exclaimed as they didn't know what was going on. However, when they saw the Sage King's calm expressions, they calmed down. Even if there was any danger, the Sage Kings could sweep through everything. The entire heavenly wind world was enveloped by a terrifying law. Everyone realized that the earth was changing as arenas appeared one after another. These were all arenas that had been passed down from the ancient times, or even further back. They were able to withstand attacks from sacred sovereigns and were specially prepared for the Holy Heavens Tao discussion. Everyone realized that some of the arenas had dark red marks on them. Those were the blood that had flowed from the battles between the geniuses in the past. Even after countless years, the blood hadn't changed. One could only imagine how strong those geniuses were. There were many arenas and they were huge. They covered the entire land. At the same time, the rules of the Holy Heavens Tao discussion were spread. There were 3 stages. The first stage was divided into different arenas based on cultivation. So they fought. Everyone had 3 chances to be defeated. After 3 times, they would be eliminated. Both sides of the battle also used the form of a challenge. There was no need to worry that no one would make a move. After all, everyone wanted to make a name for themselves in this once-in-a-lifetime event. Moreover, there was a chance to have his name engraved in the Holy Hall. This was a supreme honor. Therefore, the battle would definitely be very intense. The competition was divided into 3 different areas. The first region was for those under 2,000 years old, while the second region was for those between 2,000 and 5,000 years old. The third area was for those over 5,000 years old. This time, it wasn't based on cultivation, but age. However, no matter how strong a person under 2,000 years old was, he would only be an early-stage holy venerate. Hence, everyone felt more at ease. That way, they would not encounter those middle-stage holy venerables, or even those late-stage holy venerables. As for those old monsters, they all had their own battlefields where they could exchange blows. As for the second stage, no one knew yet. What they needed to do was to try their best to earn points in the first round so that they could get a higher ranking. He wanted to make himself even more dazzling. The Holy Heavens Tao discussion didn't allow Holy Kings to appear. In other words, Holy Kings and Holy Kings' weapons couldn't appear. Anyone who violated the rules would be disqualified. There was another point. In the arena, life and death didn't matter. There was only victory and defeat. In other words, not only would the battle be intense, but a large number of experts and geniuses would also be killed. Although it was cruel, the world of cultivation was like that. Everyone who reached the peak had to go through the baptism of blood and slaughter to stand out. After learning about the situation, everyone took a deep breath. Although the path ahead was dangerous, no one retreated. Instead, they all clenched their fists. This time, they would definitely make their names known in the universe. As the rules of the competition in the ancient arena appeared, everyone started to panic. Everyone took a deep breath. The Silver Corpse Holy King announced the start of the Holy Heavens Tao discussion. As his voice fell, figures flew out one after another from different parts of the world. They landed on the arena respectively. On the Lightning God City side, a woman bathed in lightning appeared. She held an ice and lightning sword in her hand that exuded a destructive aura. From the looks of it, she was a genius. On the Demon City side, a man walked out. Flames danced around his body. He seemed to be a powerful genius of the Vermilion Bird tribe. On the Myriad Sword Pavilion side, a terrifying sword venerate descended upon them. Terrifying sword chi swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The other sacred cities and powerful families had also sent people to assist them. Every one of them was extremely powerful. If they were in the outside world, they would be able to sweep through an entire world. But now, they were all gathered together to fight for the peak. Around the heavenly wind world, there were 4 small worlds that were filled with people. They came from all over the second astral world to watch the battle. There were also some people who came from the universe to watch the battle. When these people saw the terrifying figures standing in the arena below, they immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. They were unhappy that they couldn't enter, but now they understood. With their strength, they didn't have the qualifications to enter. They could only watch from outside. Even Lin Xian saw Qin Xiener and Murong Qingcheng walking out. It seemed that these sacred cities were all planning to use their strength in the first battle to tell the world how powerful they were. A man walked out from the Wushuang City side. He was also terrifying. But it wasn't Linghu Chuexue or Fu Hongye. It was another stranger. But it seemed like he was also a top expert. On the Acheron Palace's side, they also sent sacred venerables to fight. This time, They couldn't lose in the Tao discussion. Therefore, the people they sent for the first round were extremely powerful. On the other hand, the Great Desolate Mansion had their own strategy. They decided to hide part of their strength and send out some of their core strength. It was rare for them to send out peerless experts in the later stages. But even though he was the core strength, he was still a peak small saint. He wasn't far from becoming a sacred venerable. Basically, all the arenas were filled with people, waiting for others to challenge them. Soon, people flew up to challenge the arenas. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a cold smile when he saw this. Very well, it's time to harvest. Demon City, Acheron Palace, and Great Desolate Mansion. These were the 3 holy cities that had tried to kill him. He wouldn't let any of them go. Chapter 42:17. Huang Yimou stood on the stage with a smile on his face. He felt that his chance had come. This time, he must show his strength to the world. Although he wasn't a saint venerable and was only at the peak of the minor saint realm, he was confident that no one in the same realm as him was his match. As long as he didn't encounter a true saint venerable, he had the confidence to win. Buzz who would challenge him? His gaze rarely traveled in all directions. Suddenly, he saw a figure transform into a gust of wind and arrive at the arena. Oh, someone's here. Huang Yimou squinted his eyes and looked forward. The opponent should be using the law of wind. His speed was pretty good, which made him a little interested. He checked carefully and didn't find any saint venerable aura from the opponent. Huang Yimou heaved a sigh of relief. Great, this opponent's strength is at most on par with me. Then, I won't be afraid. Brat, tell me your name, because you only have one chance to speak. Huang Yimou said indifferently. Oh, is that so? The young man opposite him laughed. All right, listen carefully. My name is Sword Maniac. Sword Maniac? I think you're an idiot. Huang Yimou sneered. You dare to challenge me? I'll kill you in one move. He sneered and slapped his palm out. Countless law filled his palm. It was the law of wildfire. It carried a terrifying flame aura and slapped forward. Buzz, a pair of dark golden wings appeared behind Lin Xian's back and spread out. It turned into a storm. This was the ultimate technique that he had obtained from the Winged Dragon clan. It allowed him to move at an extremely fast speed. At the same time, he also used the sword-controlling technique of the Saber Dragon clan. A sword light slashed across the sky. The two of them exchanged blows in a flash. Then, they stood in the air with their backs facing each other. Lin Xian put away the nomological laws on his body and walked down the ring. The spectators were stunned. What's going on? Is the battle over? The people of the Great Desolate Mansion sneered. This kid must know that he's not senior brother Huang Mo's match. He went down and admitted defeat. That's for sure. Who dares to go against the Great Desolate Mansion? They looked up to the sky and laughed. However, soon, they were stunned, because they saw Huang Mo's body falling to the ground. Blood flowed out from his body and dyed the stage red. What? He was injured. That's impossible. The people of the Great Desolate Mansion widened their eyes and screamed in horror. What just happened? Why didn't they see it clearly? The elders and experts of the Great Desolate Mansion frowned as they carefully examined the situation. In the next moment, their expressions turned extremely ugly. This was because they realized that there was no longer any life in the desert. 3 figures descended from the sky. They were the 3 judges. There were 3 referees in each arena. The 3 referees were chosen randomly from different holy cities and families. This would prevent anyone from cheating. They went up to take a look, then shook their heads and said that he had been killed. The Sword Maniac won the battle. Hearing this, the people of the Great Desolate Mansion were completely stunned. The other people were also in an uproar. Heavens, this Sword Maniac was actually an expert. Moreover, to be able to kill a peak minor saint with a single strike, what was his cultivation base? Could it be that he was already a saint venerable? I don't know. I can't sense his aura. How mysterious. Everyone exclaimed. The faces of the people of the Great Desolate Mansion turned ugly. To be honest, although they didn't send a saint venerable, they were very confident in Huang Yimou. Moreover, there wouldn't be too many experts in the beginning of the battle. Therefore, their chances of winning were very high. However, they didn't expect that Huang Imo would be killed in an instant in the first battle. This was a provocation. He jumped up and stepped on their faces. Damn it! The people of the great, desolate mansion were clenching their teeth so hard that they almost broke. Saint King Huang Tian's face turned dark. After all, the battle had just begun and the reputation of the holy city was very important. Now, his opponent had embarrassed him. He said loudly, "Don't think that this is a joke. This is a very formal battle. Those who are able to participate in this battle are all top experts and experts. There were even some hidden and secretly cultivated people who would appear. Therefore, you can't afford to be careless here. Huang Mo's death is a good lesson. Do you all understand?" Yes. The people of the great desolate mansion quickly lowered their heads and remembered the Saint King's words. We will treat this battle seriously and not make any mistakes. At the same time, they looked up and started to look for Lin Xian. They would remember this grudge. However, they realized that Lin Xian had already disappeared into the crowd. Damn it, he actually let that brat escape. It doesn't matter. He will definitely take action again. When the time comes, we will lock onto him and find someone to kill him. He was targeted by the great desolate mansion again. However, Lin Xian didn't care. This time, he was here for revenge. He would definitely not let these sacred cities off. So what if he was targeted? He went into the crowd and started to look around the arena. He realized that Murong Qingqing, Qin Xiener, and the others had already won their first battle. Then, some of them walked down the arena while others continued to challenge. He looked at the Wushuang City side and realized that the first unfamiliar man had also won. Then, Fu Hongye started to fight. Other than that, he also noticed some top experts. For example, Wang Jini and Chao Tianqing had also successfully broken through to the Saint Venerable realm. He had to admit that these people's strength, talent, and opportunities were very strong. Other than that, there were also some young rising stars. Lin Xian only took a glance at them and didn't pay any more attention to them. These people weren't a threat to him. The ones who were a threat were the disciples of the previous generation, such as Huang Shisan of the Great Desolate Mansion. He was someone who competed with Fu Hongye back then. He wasn't sure how strong he was now. Lin Xian's eye technique was powerful, so he could overlook the entire battlefield and observe. However, at this moment, he was suddenly stunned. At the same time, there was a cry of surprise from a distant battlefield. Countless people looked over. Look, that's Fu Hongye. He actually encountered an opponent. Everyone was stunned. Fu Hongye was the chief disciple of the second generation of the Wushuang City. At the same time, he was also a genius on the pilgrim list. He was very strong. Logically speaking, he should be able to kill his opponent easily. However, this time, his opponent was extremely terrifying. He was actually able to threaten Fu Hongye. Lin Xian also frowned. Who was this person? He discovered that this person didn't use the holy city's unique lost skill. That was to say, the other party might not be someone from the holy city. Of course, there was also another possibility. This was originally a secret expert nurtured by the holy city. It was just that at this moment, in order to hide his identity, he displayed some other lost skills. The strength of this person's law was extremely terrifying. It shrouded the entire arena. Fu Hongye was actually suppressed. But fortunately, after 50 moves, Fu Hongye suddenly erupted with power and injured the other party. That person directly left the arena and disappeared. Took the initiative to forfeit? Everyone was surprised. This was equivalent to a failure. There were only a total of 3 chances to fail. Such an expert easily admitted defeat. It was really too regrettable. However, the powerhouses on the Wushuang City side frowned. Damn it! Immediately retreating after failing to hit and hiding his strength. This was clearly a hunter. Chapter 42:18. The Holy Heavens Tao discussion was rarely held. However, it was not the first time that some of the elders had participated in it. They had seen such a thing happen before. Every holy city had secretly nurtured some experts. They would hide these experts and only use them at critical moments. For example, the hidden experts would hide their identities and attack the geniuses from other holy cities. Although it was not a glorious thing, it was used by many holy cities. They did not expect that someone would target Wushuang City. Who was it? The elders' faces turned cold. They first thought of the three holy cities, Thousand Demon City, Acheron Hall, and Great Baron Mansion. After all, Wushuang City had fought with the three holy cities, and the relationship between them was like fire and water. However, they could not rule out the possibility that it was done by other holy cities. They had to be more careful in the future. On the other side, Lin Xin's face turned cold when he saw the scene. Damn it, it seemed like someone was targeting Wushuang City. Since that was the case, they could not blame him for being ruthless. He looked around. Suddenly, he noticed that one of the arenas had become empty, and a figure went up. The person's cold aura was terrifying. It was obvious that he was an expert from Acheron Hall. Moreover, his cultivation had reached the Holy Sovereign realm. Many people did not dare to challenge him. Very well. Lin Xin's eyes shone with a cold light. Let's start with the Holy Sovereign. His body flashed, and he flew toward the arena. Long Pao smiled when he came up. With his strength, ordinary people would not dare to challenge him. However, he did not expect that a figure would appear in front of him. He wondered which holy city's expert was from. Long Pao looked forward. However, he was stunned. He did not sense any terrifying aura from the other party. Could it be that the person was not a holy sovereign? When he thought of this, he couldn't believe it. Was this person courting death? Naturally, the spectators also felt this scene and immediately exclaimed in surprise. Heavens, could it be that this brat wanted to court death? Did he think that he could challenge a holy sovereign? Exclamations could be heard. Indeed, it was possible for geniuses to challenge those of a higher cultivation level. However, the people here were all geniuses. They were all stronger than those of the same level. It was very difficult to challenge those of a higher level. This was especially so when the other party was a holy venerate. Leaping levels to fight a holy venerate was simply impossible. Kid, if you obediently kneel on the ground and kowtow to me and admit defeat, I'll let you live. Otherwise, you will die a horrible death. Lung Robe's cold voice rang out. In his opinion, he felt that it was beneath him to be an opponent. Lin Xin laughed when he heard that. How arrogant. How could a mere holy venerate be so arrogant in front of me? You look very young. You must be one of the geniuses of the previous generation. If I kill you, I wonder what kind of expression the Acheron Palace will have. Do you really think you can kill me? Long Pao was stunned. Then he sneered disdainfully. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Speaking of this, an extremely terrifying aura appeared on his body. Endless cold laws condensed into a blade of light, which he held in his hand. The aura emanating from it froze the entire space. Gloomy slash. The black blade of light slashed down, streaking across the void. This slash was extremely strange. Wherever it passed, black frost would condense. What a terrifying aura. This was the gloomy slash. Many people exclaimed. Under this slash, a holy venerate would not be able to resist at all. It's over. That kid will probably be killed in an instant. Puff. Indeed, this slash enveloped Lin Xin's body and froze Lin Xin's body. Soon after, the frozen body split into two. Instant kill in one move. The surrounding people exclaimed when they saw this scene. Lung Pao also laughed. He did not know what was good for him. The people from the Acheron Palace snorted coldly. In their opinion, unless a powerful holy venerate descended, it would be impossible to defeat Lung Pao. However, at this moment, the situation changed. Lung Pao shouted angrily. He didn't know when, but many more lightning chains had appeared on his body, trapping him. The aura of thunder and lightning from it made his body numb. How could someone attack him? Who was it? The others were also surprised. Someone exclaimed. Look, there was a figure behind Lung Pao. They looked carefully and saw a figure slowly appear. He held the law of lightning in his hand and trapped Lung Pao. That kid did not die? How could it be? Could it be that the one that was killed was just a clone? They were really too shocked. Lung Pao's pupils constricted. Damn it, the gloomy slash. Many black runes appeared in his body and froze in all directions. Those lightning runes kept exploding, shattering the ice. At the same time, Lin Xian sneered and used the blue dragon seal. He slapped Long Pao's back and sent him flying. Boom, boom, boom. Half of Long Pao's body exploded, and blood mist filled the air. It was extremely miserable. Everyone went crazy. Oh God, what did they just see? A young minor saint had injured a holy venerate. Oh my God, it can't be. Who is this kid? Damn it. The people from the Acheron Palace frowned when they saw this scene. What was Long Pao doing? How could he be at a disadvantage in the hands of a minor saint? Long Pao's expression was also ferocious. He knew that he had been careless. The kid in front of him was much stronger than he had imagined. At least, he was not someone that an ordinary peak minor saint could compare to. He gritted his teeth and roared. The gloomy slash on his body quickly healed his injuries. At the same time, he turned his head and killing intent appeared on his pale face. Kid, how dare you hurt me? I will make you pay a painful price. The terrifying law of lightning spread out from his body, and the whole world turned dark. A cold aura spread out in all directions. Even those who were watching the battle from afar felt a sense of horror. At the same time, those who were at the extraterritorial temple shuddered. What a terrifying gloomy slash. It seemed that Long Pao was really angry. Could that kid block it? That was the anger of a holy venerate. At this moment, all the people in the world were watching the battle. The gloomy slash. Long Pao roared and instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian with a ghostly speed. The gloomy slash in his hand quickly condensed and formed a palm. The gloomy slash on the palm kept spinning and shrouded Lin Xian. This attack was incomparably powerful. Even a holy venerate of the same level would not dare to face it head-on. The surrounding people exclaimed. He was too strong. As expected of a holy venerate. This strength was far from what a minor saint could compare to. That kid is probably dead. Chapter 42:19. Looking at the approaching dark palm, Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Instead of dodging, he made his move. Azure Dragon 9 palms. The roar of a dragon was heard as he threw out a palm strike. The phantom of the Azure Dragon collided violently with his opponent's gloomy palm. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard and exploded in the arena. It swept across the 9 heavens and pierced through the sky. The people outside the region screamed. Many of them were sent flying by the force. It was too terrifying. If there was no ancient arena, the world would have been destroyed instantly. So powerful. What's going on with this young man? He can actually fight against a sacred venerate. Has such a heaven-defying genius appeared? Exclamations were heard. Under everyone's shocked gaze, a figure was sent flying. Look, someone is injured. Who is it? They took a closer look and then sucked in a cold breath. Because the person who was sent flying was none other than Long Pao. After one strike, Long Pao's dark palm was broken. His palm cracked, and even his bones were exposed. He was sent flying by the force. His face was full of shock. Long Pao's strength and physique were above his. Impossible. His mind was completely blank. As Lin Xian struck out with his palm, the other 8 strikes followed one after another. A dragon's roar was heard between heaven and earth. The Azure Dragon 9 palms became stronger as it went on. With every palm strike, Cold Robe's body cracked a little bit. By the 8th palm strike, his body had completely exploded. He turned into a bloody mist. No one dared to believe that Coco was a true sacred venerate. The strength of her physique was definitely beyond imagination. Even if a sacred venerate stood there and did not use any techniques, a small saint would not be able to break through her defense. In other words, a small saint would not be able to hurt a sacred venerate without special techniques. That was the difference in strength. But now, someone had actually broken through the gap. He had actually defeated a sacred venerate. At this moment, more than a dozen sacred cities and the elders of the top families were all stunned. Countless gazes were looking in their direction. Even the Saint Kings opened their eyes. Their light transformed into long streaks of light as they looked in their direction. Who is this person? Go and find out. We must get information about him. News came one after another. Above the arena, blood mist filled the air as a soul let out a cold shriek. His soul was hugging a small black bead with a ferocious expression. Damn brat, go to hell. He launched a soul attack. The other party's physical body was strong. However, Xiao Chan was a holy venerate after all. His cultivation was suppressed. Even if the soul of a saint venerable did not specialize in cultivation, it was still much stronger than that of a minor saint. He wanted to use his soul to kill the other party. However, Lin Xian was disdainful. 9 Azure Dragon Strikes, 9th Palm. At the same time, he channeled the breathing technique of the dragon race. The 9th dragon seemed to have been resurrected, turning into a 9-fold divine dragon. It roared between heaven and earth. That dragon roar contained an extremely strong power that directly separated the soul of the other party. Under the 9 palms, his opponent's soul was instantly destroyed. Damn it, how dare you! At this moment, a cold roar rang out. At the same time, a terrifying force swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Was there an expert sneak attacking him? A pair of dark golden wings instantly appeared on his back. He activated the law of wind to the extreme. However, this aura was really too terrifying. His law of wind could not completely leave. What kind of person was he? Lin Xian felt a chill down his spine. It seemed that he had to activate the void escape and perform a spatial transfer. He sighed. Did he have to use his trump card so soon? However, at this moment, another cold snort rang out, startling Lin Xian. He did not use the void escape. A ray of light fell and blocked the terrifying impact of the law of wind. Then, another cold voice rang out. How dare you? Who allowed you to attack? As a judge, how dare you attack a contestant? Do you want to die? Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lin Xian's figure flashed and directly went to the distance. He was shocked and bewildered. At the same time, the surrounding people exclaimed in shock. Countless pairs of eyes looked over. In the next moment, they all saw it. The person who attacked was an old man, and his identity was not ordinary. He was the judge of the arena with a flag on him. What was going on? Why did the judge attack a contestant? Damn it! Is there any justice in this world? Exclamations rang out, and Lin Xian's face darkened. The Acheron Hall's judge? It seemed that it was related to Cold Robe. Lin Xian turned his head and saw that the person who attacked was an elder from Peerless City. He was also the judge. At this moment, he was the one who saved Lin Xian. The Peerless City's judge said coldly, "As a judge, you sneak attacked. You have no right to be a judge." The other people were also discussing spiritedly. Even the elders from the other holy cities were also discussing this matter. That's right. Are there no rules at all? How can we compete in peace like this? I think it's better to set new rules. It was obvious that this was a big matter. If the judge was selfish, it would be extremely disadvantageous for the other holy cities. Therefore, at this moment, no one supported the judge. The faces of the people from Acheron Hall turned ugly. The elders were also shocked. To be honest, they were also heartbroken that Cold Robe was killed. However, if this matter was not handled well, they would be thoroughly humiliated. If this matter was spread out, no one would look up to Acheron Hall. Even the other holy cities would not be willing to be with them. The Silver Corpse Holy King opened his eyes. He said, "Quiet down. I will handle this matter." He stood up, and a Holy King's aura spread out in all directions. At this moment, the elders and experts from the other holy cities all quietened down. They all looked at their holy kings. As for the other holy kings, their eyes were cold. It seemed that they were waiting for the judge to decide. If they were not satisfied, the holy kings would also attack. Elderlong, do you know the rules of the judge? The Silver Corpse Holy King's cold voice rang out. The elder judge shuddered. He said, "I know, but this kid dared to kill my grandson." The crowd was in an uproar. So this elder was Cold Robe's grandfather. No wonder he attacked so angrily. However, the other party was too despicable. Couldn't he have attacked somewhere else? He actually killed Cold Robe in the arena. Moreover, he was a judge. This was something that no one could tolerate. Sure enough, the Silver Corpse Holy King snorted. I don't care what the reason is. Since you chose to be a judge, you have to abide by the rules of the judge. You have to be punished for violating the rules. After saying that, the Silver Corpse Holy King shot out a yellow springs diagram from his eyes. It enveloped the elder. The old man's body trembled. He was a middle-stage holy venerable, and he was incomparably powerful in the outside world. However, in front of a holy venerate, he was pitifully weak. He could not even withstand a glance from the holy venerate. He knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Holy King, I know I was wrong. Please spare my life. However, the Silver Corpse Holy King's expression was cold. He waved his hand and the yellow springs diagram exploded, destroying the elder's soul. Chapter 42:20. Was he dead? The other spectators felt their scalps go numb when they saw this scene. That was a sacred venerate. A mid-stage sacred venerate. How much did they have to pay to nurture such a person? But now, the sacred venerate was killed just like that. He was really cold and decisive. However, the elders of the other sacred cities were cold and indifferent. This was the only way to let everyone know the rules. As expected, the Silver Corpse Sage King's cold voice rang out. The Tao debate was not a game. Everyone had to follow the rules, especially the elders and judges. They represented not only the sacred cities, but also the heavenly Tao's fairness. If they couldn't even do that, their souls would be destroyed. The other elders felt their scalps go numb. To be honest, they also had juniors and disciples participating in the competition. They originally wanted to play some tricks, but when they saw this scene, they all forgot about it. How dare they play tricks at this time? They would end up in a miserable state. The competition continued. After the atmosphere froze for a moment, the scene became lively again. After all, every battle was very exciting. Lin Xian retreated into the distance and hid in the crowd. A cold smile appeared on his face. Although the Silver Corpse Sage King spoke as if he was the messenger of the heavenly god, Lin Xian knew that the Silver Corpse Sage King was a despicable and shameless person. The Silver Corpse Sage King was able to disregard his status and cultivation to attack a junior like him. He knew how despicable and shameless this person was. Moreover, he also knew that the Silver Corpse Sage King was doing this for the other sacred cities. As for not being allowed to play tricks, what a joke. Previously, the operation against Fu Hongye was a small trick played by the other sacred cities. Moreover, it was not just one operation. Lin Xian observed carefully and realized that, every once in a while, an unfamiliar person would make a move. Those people were very powerful. They were all sacred venerates, and they specifically targeted the top geniuses of the other sacred cities. Every time they made a move, their moves were ruthless, and they were usually determined to kill in one strike. Lin Xian knew that these people belonged to different sacred cities. They specialized in hunting young and promising geniuses. Moreover, many of them succeeded. Once they failed and could not win, these people would immediately give up and leave. This made it impossible for others to do anything. It could be said that he was the Grim Reaper walking in the mortal world. It seemed that he had to be careful, because there was no telling when someone like that would target him. At the same time, the people of the various holy cities were gathering information. Not only did they have to collect information on some unfamiliar faces, they even began to collect information on Lin Xian. Asked the Silver Corpse Saint King from the Yellow Spring Palace. Have you gathered any information about that brat? A figure appeared and said in a low voice, reporting to the Saint King, we've collected some. This kid was called Sword Maniac. His background was unknown, and he didn't know which sect he belonged to. However, he was very powerful. After coming to the heavenly wind world, he killed the nine-headed Qilin and then killed many experts from the Great Desolation Mansion. Even a holy venerate had died at his hands. We speculate that he is very likely a holy venerate who is hiding his cultivation. Other than that, he had a good relationship with Deep Sea Palace's Guan Songhai. He had even helped Morong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu. We suspect that he is related to Peerless City. Moreover, his super skills had the dragon's voice. We suspect that he is related to the dragon race. Hearing this, the silver corpse Saint King's eyes flickered. The surrounding elders furrowed their brows tightly. This person was very strange. Where did he come from? One of the elders said, I guess that he might be a hunter as well. He was secretly trained by the holy city. Could he be trained by Peerless City? It's very likely. Be careful, he might target us next. Sacred King, should we take action? Or should we change our strategy? Said the Peerless Sacred King coldly. Follow the original plan. Send someone to keep an eye on this brat. I don't care if he is secretly trained by Peerless City. I must get rid of him. Once there is a chance, let our hunters go and kill this brat. An operation to target Lin Xian was secretly underway. Lin Xian naturally knew that the other holy cities would definitely take notice of him after he displayed his strength as a sacred venerate. They might even start to investigate his identity and background. Therefore, he had to take action again to make things more complicated. Next, he would not only target Acheron Palace and Great Desolate Mansion, Thousand Demon City, Thunder God City, Myriad Sword Pavilion. He would take action against all the holy cities that had once gone against him. Those who had taken action against him were all defeated. As a result, he was very famous now. The sword fanatic's name started to spread. Heavens, what is wrong with this sword fanatic? Why did he take action against so many experts? Do you guys think that he might be a genius secretly nurtured by some power? That shouldn't be the case. Normally, a hunter would have a specific target. It shouldn't be so big. He would cause public anger. Sure enough, everyone was discussing among themselves. Even the people from Acheron Palace were puzzled. Damn it, could it be that they had guessed wrongly? Let's ignore that brat for now, said the silver corpse Sacred King coldly. Lung Pao was killed and an elder attacked. This has already caused our reputation to fall very quickly. Now, no one is optimistic about us. We have to fight a battle to raise the reputation of Acheron Palace. Yes, we know. This is the arrangement. Those elders nodded quickly. Indeed, they were not ordinary holy cities. They were the hosts of the Holy Heavens Tao discussion. They were the hosts. If they did not perform well, it would be a slap to their faces. Therefore, they had to win the upcoming battle. They had to win beautifully. Soon, a young figure walked up. He was from the younger generation, and he was less than 1,500 years old. Moreover, his cultivation had reached the Holy Sovereign Realm. He was much stronger than Long Pao. With him taking action, they would definitely win. Moreover, this was a signal. It meant that Acheron Palace wanted to regain their reputation. The other holy cities would give them face. Therefore, the people from Acheron Palace were not too worried. It was Schwering. Many people exclaimed when they saw the person walking out. I know this person. He is very strong. He will definitely win the competition. That's for sure. Acheron Palace is going to show off. Schwering snorted coldly. The aura of Acheron Palace and terrifying blood-red light shone from his body. He wanted to suppress everyone. However, at this moment, the appearance of a figure caused the atmosphere of the entire scene to become tense again. Many people even screamed. Heavens, it can't be, right? Did I see wrongly? That's right. It's that person. He actually appeared again. Damn. Is he going to fight to the death with Acheron Palace? Chapter 42:21. Screams could be heard as they realized that Lin Xian had entered the arena again. Shui Ying's face darkened, and so did the people from Acheron Hall. Damn it, it's that brat again. Does he want to die? Some of the elders gritted their teeth in anger. The silver corpse Saint King opened his eyes as well. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Going against him, he was courting death. Sage King, don't worry. Schwering was definitely stronger than Long Pao. Hence, he would not lose this battle. That is, no one can go against our Acheron Hall. Lin Wudi was such a genius. Wasn't he the same? Had he fallen? Anyone who goes against us will go to hell. Shui Ying's face darkened. Brat, it's you again. All right, I wanted to kill you anyway. Since you're here, I'll take revenge for Long Pao. I'll use your blood to pay tribute to his spirit. What's there to pay tribute to a lonely soul? If you're worried, I can send you to hell. I'll accompany him. Lin Xian sneered. Back then, Silver Corpse Sage King had wanted to kill him. This time, he would let Silver Corpse Sage King know what pain was. He would kill the experts from Acheron Hall one by one. He would let Silver Corpse Sage King see the geniuses that he had nurtured fall in front of him. What a sharp-tongued brat. I admit that you're powerful. However, Long Pao lost because he was careless. My strength is far above Lung Pao's. Hence, you have no chance of winning against me. Is that so? Lin Xian shook his head. You're too arrogant. I wanted to let you use one hand, but it seems like I don't need to anymore. The people around were going crazy when they heard this. Let me use one hand? What a joke. Xueying was famous for his coldness and killing. His reputation was terrifying even among the holy venerables. Indeed, Xueying smiled coldly when he heard this. You're really courting death. I don't know what you're relying on, but it's all over now. Boom. A blood-red rainbow instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian. With a palm strike, a blood-red sword slashed down from the sky. The aura emitted from it was extremely cold, causing the eyelids of the surrounding sacred venerates to twitch. Although this blood eagle was less than 1,500 years old, he was even more terrifying than some experts who were more than 2,000 years old. This was a true expert, a genius. Lin Xian struck out with the Azure Dragon Seal to contend with it, and the two collided, tearing apart heaven and earth. Then, the two figures quickly retreated. They stood at two different sides of the arena. Lin Xian laughed. You keep saying that you're strong, but from the looks of it, you're just SOSO. He was a little stronger than the cold-robed trash from before, but not by much. Xueying's face turned cold. To be honest, he could sense that the other party was not a sacred venerate. However, the other party's physique and strength were not any weaker than a saint venerable's. It was strange. He guessed that this kid must have some special body tempering method. Or perhaps it was a special kind of physique. Kid, you must have some special physique and bloodline that can make your physique comparable to a sacred venerable's. It's really rare. However, you're still a puny sacred venerable. A true sacred venerable not only had a strong physique, but also surpassed a small saint in terms of soul, divine ability, and law. So, I'll let you see the power of a true sacred venerable. The law of blood and the law of yellow spring spread out from his body, forming two weapons in his hands. The yellow spring blood spear. The two short spears had a cold sharpness, like the fangs of an ancient savage beast. It was abnormally terrifying. As soon as the two weapons appeared, an extremely terrifying cold storm swept out in all directions. This caused those experts to frown. In the distance, Shun Jingqiu looked at this scene, feeling worried. On the other side, Murong Qingqing of Kunlun Pavilion's eyes flickered. Obviously, they knew how powerful Blood Eagle was. As soon as the short spears appeared, Blood Eagle grasped them, and the aura on his body became more terrifying than before. He waved them gently. It was as if he could reach the four heavens. The yellow spring gushed out. Under his feet, the water of the yellow spring spread out, covering the entire arena. In the next moment, his body merged with the water of the yellow spring, and he appeared behind Lin Xian in an instant. The short spears in his hands stabbed out fiercely. The void was torn apart. This attack was aimed at Lin Xian's back. If he was stabbed, he would definitely be seriously injured. A pair of dark golden wings appeared behind Lin Xian's back, and an endless storm rose, turning into wind blades and heavenly sabers, slashing towards the space behind him. The void behind him shattered in an instant as he clashed with the other party. A sonorous sound rang out, and endless flames appeared in all directions. Lin Xian was using the Winged Dragon Clan's unique skill. Coupled with his Law of Wind, it was truly incomparably sharp. The moment they exchanged blows, it was earth-shattering. With the Law of Wind and Lightning, Lin Xian's speed was extremely fast. On the other side, Blood Eagle was not a speed expert, but with the water of the Yellow Spring, he could appear anywhere in the Yellow Spring at will. It could be said that his movement technique was unpredictable, like a messenger from hell. In an instant, the two exchanged hundreds of blows. This happened in the blink of an eye. The surrounding people were shocked. Those from the Acheron Hall were also nervous. Damn it, this person was more powerful than they had imagined. He wondered if the Blood Eagle would be able to withstand it. This sword maniac was really powerful. He could exchange so many blows with Blood Eagle. This time, he would not create another miracle, right? Discussions broke out one after another. The corner of Guan Songhai's mouth curled up into a smile when he saw this. Although he had not known Lin Xin for long, he knew that Lin Xin's strength was very terrifying. He had even created many miracles. It should not be a problem to defeat Blood Eagle. On the other side, in the space where the Limitless sect was, Chao Tianxing looked into the distance with flickering eyes. Let me see how much your strength has grown while you've been gone. Obviously, he already knew Lin Xin's identity. He was looking forward to seeing Lin Xin. On the field, the two fought fiercely. Everywhere they passed, there was not a single space that was intact. Blood Eagle's face turned completely cold. Not being able to take down his opponent after hundreds of blows was already a slap to his face. He was a truly powerful sacred master, so he was ready to launch a sure kill attack. Blood Fog, Death of the Yellow Spring. As his voice fell, the law of the yellow spring filled the short spike in his hand. Endless blood gushed out. A terrifying killing intent shook the heavens and the earth. Not good. This was a unique skill. The combination of two laws could increase the power of the attack by several times. Perhaps no one of the same level could withstand this attack. At this moment, many people were worried about Lin Xin. Chapter 42-22. Lin Xian's eyes also burst out with a piercing cold light. He took a deep breath, and the great dragon sword soul in his body roared. He used the Dragon Clan's breathing technique, and a terrifying aura filled the air, as if the ancient divine dragon between heaven and earth had been resurrected. Because, when the surrounding people felt this aura, all of their expressions changed. Heavens, what a terrifying aura! What kind of bloodline did this kid have? At this moment, the expressions of the people from the three great dragon clans also changed drastically. They realized that the Dragon Dao aura that Lin Xin displayed was even stronger than before. Could it be that this kid was from the Emperor clan, the nest of 10,000 dragons? Under everyone's shocked gazes, the laws on Lin Xin's body quickly condensed. It formed sword chi, accompanied by a cold voice. Sword kinesis technique. The sword kinesis technique of the Sword Dragon clan was already very powerful. At this moment, when it was used by Lin Xin, it was truly terrifying to the extreme. As tens of thousands of sword chi fell, the entire world was completely broken apart. It couldn't withstand those sword chi at all. It collided with the other party's divine ability. A violent explosion sounded, as if tens of thousands of demonic beasts were fighting in the sky. That terrifying aura made everyone's scalp go numb. Even some powerful saint venerables became incomparably solemn at this moment. So strong, it was simply a battle between dragons and tigers. They didn't know who would win in the end. Discussions sounded one after another. Then, they saw two figures emerge from the shattered branches that filled the sky. One was surrounded by sword light, like a sword god, and was unstoppable. The other was surrounded by the aura of the Yellow Spring and Shui Sha. He kept retreating, shattering the void. Was the Blood Eagle pushed back? Heavens, he was even injured. Everyone saw that every time Shuang retreated, a crack would appear on his body. Obviously, he was at a disadvantage and was completely suppressed. How was this possible? The eyes of the experts from the Yellow Spring Hall almost popped out. Shuang was an expert that they had carefully selected to turn the tide. But now, he was actually suppressed by someone, and it was by that detestable kid from before. It was really hard for them to be confident. Lin Xin looked at the disheveled figure, and a cold smile appeared on his face. You are nothing more than this. The Acheron Palace is nothing more than this. The surrounding people felt as if they had gone crazy. Countless cries of surprise rang out. At this moment, not only the heavenly wind world, but also the surrounding worlds, the outer regions, and even the distant starry skies. In countless star realms, the people who were watching through the array formations were all stunned. This young man actually dared to say such arrogant words. This was no longer just aimed at Schwerin. Instead, it was a slap to the entire Acheron Hall's face. The other party was provoking the holy city. When the people from the Acheron Hall heard this, their faces turned ashen. Killing intent surged from their bodies. He wanted nothing more than to rush over and kill the other party. Shui Ying's face was also ferocious. He would not allow himself to be defeated like this. Roar. With a roar, an extremely frightening cold aura emanated from his body. In the next moment, his body began to change. Two types of precepts intertwined on his body. His body was completely enveloped by the picture of the underworld and became abnormally cold. A pair of blood-red wings appeared on his back. At this moment, it was as if he had really turned into an Azura that had walked out from hell. Brat, you should be proud of yourself for being able to make me reach this step. Shui Ying's voice rang out between heaven and earth. The surrounding people turned serious. Someone exclaimed, "Could this be the legendary Acheron blood spirit body?" This was also a type of super-strong physique. It was very famous. Who would have thought that Shui would be able to refine it? Did he use his final trump card? The people from the Acheron Hall heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed like Shui would not be defeated. Shui Ying's face was incomparably cold. The killing intent on his body was not concealed at all. How could he possibly lose to a little saint? How could he possibly lose to a little saint? For someone as prideful as him, this was completely unbearable. Therefore, he had to use his final trump card to kill the other party. Oh, a super strong physique? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He indeed felt that the strength of the other party's physique had far surpassed the previous one. However, he did not care at all. Looks like you still haven't given up. Since that's the case, I'll make you truly despair. Speaking of this, Lin Xian's aura changed again. The sword chi disappeared and was replaced by a violent aura. It was as if a supreme king had shrouded the entire area. Next, he was going to use the tiger demon fist. Buzz. Shui sneered. He stepped on the soles of his feet and soared into the sky, flying forward. After using his super-strong physique, he wanted to engage in close combat with the other party. He wanted to tear the other party apart with his own hands. Lin Xian did not dodge. He also rushed forward. It seemed like he wanted to engage in close combat. He had never been afraid of anyone when it came to physique. The surrounding people were stunned. It can't be. The two of them want to engage in close combat? Shui relied on his super-strong physique to engage in close combat. That sword maniac should be an expert in sword Dao. However, his physique shouldn't be too strong in close combat. Is he going to give up his advantage now? The crowd was puzzled. The people from the Acheron Hall also snorted. What a stupid kid. Let's see how he's going to die next. When Shui saw this, he also smiled coldly. He did not know what was good for him. He stretched out his palm. Acheron palm. The Acheron Dao diagram in his palm flickered continuously. When he struck out with his palm, the powerful force directly pierced through the void. At this moment, the entire world shook violently. Tiger Demon Fist? Lin Xian, on the other hand, let out a roar. His palm suddenly turned black like a black tiger. There were extremely terrifying Dao runes flickering on it. The Tiger Demon Fist came from the mysterious world of Green Hill Cave. Previously, there was a palm that swept through everything. It was extremely powerful. Lin Xian's cultivation of the Tiger Demon Fist should be related to the long black hand. At this moment, his right hand was also incomparably black and emitted a strange light. A ferocious aura of a king emerged from it. The first style of the Tiger Demon Fist, Army Destroyer. When the fist struck out, it became the only thing in the world. A deafening sound rang out. Everyone was stunned. The scene froze again. The incomparably powerful Shui, who displayed his super-strong physique, was penetrated by a punch. After a long time, the crowd exclaimed, "It can't be." Shui Ying's physique was destroyed. It can't be. That's the Acheron blood spirit body. That punch just now was too terrifying. It could definitely destroy a world. What kind of fist technique was that? Exclamations and discussions sounded one after another. Blood Eagle's eyes were wide open. His original arrogance had turned into fear. He had already used his strongest trump card, but he still could not do anything to his opponent. He could not even block a punch from his opponent. Was the gap between them that big? Chapter 42-23. This scene caused an uproar in the world. Those from the Acheron Hall stood up and roared at the sky. Damn it, this is impossible. I don't believe it. They must be crazy. Those around them took a deep breath. It seemed like they had to re-evaluate this person called Sword Maniac. His strength was far beyond their imagination. Lei Shansheng and those from the myriad demon city looked solemn, while those from the great desolate mansion looked on with flickering eyes. One of the Taoists had a cold expression. He was Huang Shisan. He said coldly, "A rising star with decent strength, but he's no match for me. My opponents are only Fu Hongya and a few others." He was extremely domineering. On the other side, Wan Jianyi from the Myriad Sword Pavilion was glaring coldly. "Sword Maniac, you better not meet me. Otherwise, I'll let you know who's the real Sword Dao expert." Discussions broke out one after another. Those from the Acheron Hall were clenching their teeth so hard that they were about to break. The Silver Corpse Sage King's eyes were also filled with killing intent, but he said coldly, "Let's not bother about him. Don't worry about this brat for now. He's too sharp. Sooner or later, someone will kill him. Let's adjust our strategy." The elders under him began to adjust their strategy. On the other side, Lin Xian left the arena. He didn't target the Acheron Hall in the next few battles. However, Lei Shansheng and the Myriad Demon City were suppressed. Those who died in Lin Xian's hands were in trouble. Many of them were gnashing their teeth, wishing they could kill Lin Xian. At this moment, the sword chi on Lin Xian's body was getting stronger and stronger. A ray of light fell from the sky like an immortal light. It turned into a scroll with the names of all the participants carved on it. Those who failed turned grayish-white, while the others emitted a golden glow. The ranking was based on the number of victories. The higher the ranking, the more victories one had. Lin Xian, the sword maniac, was also on the ranking. Countless people looked up to him. Most of the people ranked at the top were sacred venerables, and they were all very powerful sacred venerables. For example, Fu Hongya and the others were at the top of the ranking. Wan Jianyi and the others were slightly behind. However, someone exclaimed at this moment. This was because they discovered that another person's name had changed in an instant, and he had directly rushed to the front. He had achieved dazzling results. Nine Heads Qilin. How did his battle record become so powerful? That's right. Previously, he only had 10 hearts. Now, he actually has 30 stars. Everyone cried out in surprise. They realized that the nine-headed Qilin had won a match, and that person had 30 stars. He had won 30 matches in a row. To think that he would lose to the nine-headed Qilin right now. The 30 perfect victories that he represented were all given to nine-headed Qilin. What's going on? Being able to win 30 matches in a row was enough to show that that person was very powerful. This was definitely a saint venerable. But to think that he would lose to the nine-headed Qilin. Unbelievable. Although nine-headed Qilin was also a genius, he was only a peak minor saint. Could it be that he was also a powerful dark horse? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes when he saw this, and a cold smile appeared on his face. Dark horse? What a joke. The nine-headed Qilin might be strong, but it wasn't his turn to shine in the holy heavens. According to Lin Xian's guess, the person who fought with the nine-headed Qilin should be an expert that was secretly groomed by the Thousand Demon City. This expert purposely gave his battle record to the nine-headed Qilin, wanting to push him to the peak and make everyone look up to him. Artificially created battle records? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Indeed, some of the holy cities had started to use despicable methods. The other holy cities naturally understood this point. Therefore, after this incident, several holy cities adopted this method. After all, this was the purpose of secretly grooming people. For example, Wan Jianyi had won 2 matches in a row. The 2 people that he had defeated were both people who had a record of 30 consecutive victories. Hence, He now had a record of 60 consecutive victories. His ranking instantly rose by a large margin, and he was now among the top geniuses of the previous generation. He wasn't far from Fu Hongye, Huang Shisan, and the others. Countless people started to congratulate him, and many of them laughed. The ninth young master was indeed powerful and talented. If this continued, his future achievements would be limitless. That's right. The ninth young master was still a small saint. Once he became a sacred sovereign, his strength would undergo a tremendous change. We would have to rely on the ninth young master in the future. These people were all followers of the ninth young master. The nine-headed Qilin laughed after hearing this. He was like a supreme, immortal god. Everyone looked up to him. However, at this moment, a cold and mocking voice was heard. Do you really think you're a big shot? Why don't you think about how you got your battle record? Do you think you have the face to stand in that position? As soon as the voice was heard, everyone's expression changed. Although they knew that there must be something going on, they didn't dare to say it out loud. But no one dared to say it out loud. Wouldn't that be slapping the demon city's face? As expected, the faces of the people from the 1,000 demon city darkened. The nine-headed Qilin snorted coldly. Who dares to talk about me behind my back? Get out here. Let's see if I don't kill you. Is that so? Are you that powerful? I'm right here. Try and kill me. On an empty arena, Lin Xin walked up and looked at the nine-headed Qilin. Come on, ninth young master. Your ranking is so high that it's way higher than mine. I'm going to challenge you now. Do you dare? When the surrounding people saw this, they were stunned, because they realized that the person who came up was the sword fanatic. Heavens, is this death god here again? It can't be. Didn't he go against the Acheron Hall previously? Is he here to slap the 1,000 demon cities' face now? Can he really leave alive after offending so many saint cities? You guys don't know this, right? This sword fanatic killed the nine-headed Qilin when he first came to the heavenly wind world. Now, he's here purely to suppress the nine-headed Qilin. What? Is there such a thing? The crowd was shocked and started discussing. When the nine-headed Qilin saw the other party, his face turned ugly. Damn it. He would never forget this person. This was the person who killed him. To think that he would dare to come out now. Damn it. The nine-headed Qilin gritted his teeth. The eyes of the other powerful people from the 1,000 demon city lit up. This is great. This is a good chance. Let's kill him quickly. Some people stood up. Lin Xin wasn't afraid at all. Why? Nine-headed Qilin, you don't dare to come out. Since you don't dare to, you can kowtow to me and beg for mercy. If I'm in a good mood, I'll spare your life. Lin Xin's voice was unusually loud and clear. It spread across the world. Even the people at the extraterritorial stand heard it. They took in a deep breath. Isn't this too arrogant? The nine-headed Qilin snorted and gritted his teeth. Your battle record is too low. I can't be bothered to fight with you. Lin Xin laughed when he heard that. My record is low? Yes, I only have a 20-match winning streak now, but so what? This record was won by my own hands, match after match. Among them, there are more than 10 Saint Venerables who died in my hands. What about you? What battle record do you have? Don't you know how many battles you've won? The person who lost to you is a secret expert of the 1,000 Demon City, right? He pretended to lose to you. Do you really think that you're a top expert? Chapter 42-24. Lin Xin's words were filled with disdain. Nine-headed Qilin almost vomited blood when he heard it. The others were shocked when they heard it as well. The people from Demon City snorted. Do you want to die? We'll make sure you die a horrible death today. They were furious because this was something that every holy city had silently agreed to. However, Lin Xin did not know what was good for him. Since he did not follow the rules, there was no need for him to exist. The other experts from the holy city had cold-killing intent in their eyes. They also felt that this was a good opportunity to kill Lin Xin because his winning streak was not very high. He had only 120 matches. However, half of them were obtained by killing Saint Sovereigns. In other words, the Saint Sovereigns from the holy city were killed by Lin Xin the moment they attacked. If such a person did not go out, more saint sovereigns would fall in the future. The people from Great Desolation Mansion had also lost 2 saint sovereigns. Hence, their eyes were filled with killing intent. Someone gritted his teeth and said, "Send out our hunters to kill this kid. I don't want to see him again." The other elders also nodded. However, at this moment, a figure stood out. "I don't think we need to do anything. This kid is not ordinary. Let Demon City deal with him." Hearing this, the elders turned their heads. When they saw the figure, they frowned. Nine Nether, this is not your style of speaking. This man was called Nine Nether. He was very powerful. His original form was an earth dragon. He said, "I know this person. He is more terrifying than you can imagine." "Oh, you know him? Tell us, who is he?" These people were shocked. Until now, they still did not know the identity of this sword maniac. Nine Nether said, "I don't know who he is, but I have seen him in the Grotto Heaven test. He passed the test and entered the vast Grotto Heaven. He can be considered a top genius." "What? He can enter the secret realm created by the vast Grotto Heaven?" The surrounding people were stunned. This secret realm was not a place that ordinary people could enter. Only top geniuses could enter. For example, Nine Nether had entered. No wonder this sword maniac was so terrifying. He was an expert of this level. Some of the elders took a deep breath. If that was the case, it would not be easy to get rid of this sword maniac. At the very least, it had to be an expert at Nine Nether's level, and there was a risk involved. Therefore, they nodded in agreement. "All right, we'll sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Let the people from the Myriad Demon City make a move." At the same time, the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, Limitless Sect, and the others also received the news. Among them, Wan Jinni said, "Old Zhang, don't worry. Although he has also joined that Grotto Heaven, I am not afraid." That was because all the top experts had already become Saint Venerables after coming out, but the other party had not. This shows that his talent is no match for mine. Even if he's lucky enough to not die this time, as long as he meets me, he'll definitely lose. On the Demon City side, Nine Heads Qilin didn't even enter the arena. No matter how arrogant he was, he didn't dare to because he knew that he didn't have the strength to face the other party. Therefore, he would not let the other party continue to live and be arrogant. They sent out a secretly trained expert, who was also a hunter. It was a mysterious figure in a blue robe. He came to the arena, and the blue saber in his hand emitted a piercingly cold light. After coming up, he did not say a word and directly charged towards Lin Xian. With a slash of the saber, the terrifying laws were vast and mighty. It was like a vast ocean, causing the wind and clouds in all directions to change. What a terrifying saber technique! The surrounding spectators' expressions changed when they sensed the terror of this saber. Obviously, this was also an expert, and a Saint Venerable expert at that. Lin Xian sneered. "Nine-headed Qilin, you're really useless. You don't even have the courage to come up. Forget it, then you're not worthy of being my opponent at all. As for this person, he should be a hunter from the Myriad Demon City. Want to kill me? But that's impossible." He snorted coldly. Lightning surged from his body and surged over from all directions, turning into a huge lightning tiger. It stood indomitable and charged towards the saber light in the sky. As soon as he came up, he used the Tiger Demon Fist. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted. The battle between the two was extremely terrifying. The saber light collided with the phantom of the demonic tiger, tearing apart the 9 heavens and 10 earths. In the next moment, the saber directly split the phantom of the tiger, and then fiercely slashed towards Lin Xian. This person is so terrifying. His strength is above the sword fanatics. It's over. It seems that this sword fanatic is really in danger this time. That's for sure. He recklessly went against the sacred city. His ending will definitely be very miserable. Everyone was discussing animatedly. Lin Xian sneered. Have they sent out an even stronger person? He clenched the Tiger Demon Fist and quickly rushed forward. Boom, boom, boom. The army destroyer struck out, causing heaven and earth to tremble. It directly shattered the light. Then, he charged forward and continuously collided with the opponent's saber. Every collision. It was like a lightning tribulation. The killing intent in the blue-robed man's eyes was really terrifying. His saber technique was extremely terrifying. Every slash could split open a world. He and Lin Xian entered the battle. The two of them exchanged more than 30 moves and were evenly matched. Suddenly, at this moment, the blue-robed man revealed a sinister smile and changed his saber technique. Endless blue laws erupted from the saber technique and swept towards Lin Xian. Sea Demon Saber. As his cold voice fell, a blue saber light slashed down from the sky. When it came to Lin Xian's side, it suddenly split open. The violent aura of destruction filled heaven and earth. At this moment, countless large cracks appeared in the entire world and spread towards the surroundings. What a terrifying destructive power! This was a slash of destruction. Countless people gasped. They felt that the sword fanatic couldn't block this attack at all. Murong Qingcheng. They were also nervous. Damn it. The speed of the change in the saber was really beyond everyone's expectations. Even Guan Songhai revealed a look of worry. On the other side, Nine Nether, Wan Jiani, and the others revealed a cold smile. It should be settled. As expected, he couldn't be compared to them. Chao Tianqing looked at this scene calmly. The blue storm in front of him gradually disappeared. In the next moment, countless cracks appeared. However, Lin Xian's figure had already disappeared. The surrounding people were shocked when they saw this scene. Could it be that he was killed? The beast of the monster city also snorted coldly. Needless to say, he must have been killed. Moreover, his heart and soul were destroyed. Not even a drop of blood was left. This was the result of going against the monster city. Countless people's faces instantly turned pale. He was too strong. The strength of the holy city was not something that a single person could provoke. The sword fanatic had already fallen. Chapter 42-25. Is it over? He's so weak that he can't even withstand a single blow. The blue-robed man sneered as he sheathed his saber. He turned around and was about to leave when he froze in the next moment. The reason for that was because he could sense a strange energy appearing in the air. The smiles on the faces of the people around him froze. What's going on? What's that energy? They frantically looked around, and the next thing they saw was a bolt of lightning tearing through the void and walking out of the shattered space. A dragon's roar that sent shivers down one's spine could be heard. At the same time, a cold voice could be heard. The show has just begun and you want to leave? How is that possible? Countless people were dumbfounded when they saw that. The people of Demon City exclaimed, "It's that kid. He's still alive. No way. The Saint Sovereign should have been killed by that saber. How could he have survived? This energy is the energy of a dragon. Could he be from the dragon tribe? What's going on?" The people around him discussed among themselves as they looked at the dragon tribe in the distance. The people of the 3 dragon tribes also had strange expressions on their faces. To be honest, they did not know who the other party was. However, they did not believe that such a weak attack could kill the sword maniac. After all, he was the one who had obtained the azure dragon horn. Is he still alive? Even many of the Saint Kings were shocked. To be honest, they had made a mistake in their judgment. What a mysterious person. Liyue Sage King was shocked. The Silver Corpse Sage King's face turned cold. The Soaring Sage King's face darkened as well. He sent a voice transmission and gave the order to kill. On the other hand, the Peerless Sage King smiled. He finally knew who the person was. Indeed, his junior brother had come. He did not reveal his true identity immediately, but hid himself to fight against the sacred cities. Interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. He's still alive? Wan Jiani, Nine Nether, and the others' faces turned ugly. Damn it. They had mocked the other party for being weak and unworthy of being their opponent. But now, they had made a mistake in their judgment. It was a slap to their faces. This made them very unhappy. The blue-robed man's eyes narrowed. He was very confident in the power of his saber. He didn't believe that there was anyone who could stop him. Even if there was, it couldn't be the person in front of him. However, the other party had survived, and the aura on his body had become even stronger than before. Could it be that the other party wasn't injured before? When he thought of this possibility, his heart was in turmoil. Could it be that he had a top-grade Saint artifact for defense? Damn, Brad, what did you do just now? Was it a Saint King level weapon? You're cheating. The blue-robed man let out a roar, and the others were also in an uproar. The eyes of the people from the demon city lit up. Yes, that's right. He was cheating. He was asking the referee elder to probe his defense. When these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Could it be that the other party had really used a Saint King level weapon to defend himself? Hearing this, Lin Xin laughed. I cheated? Truly despicable and shameless. It's fine if your myriad demon city is despicable, but now you actually want to throw dirty water on me. Very well, let's invite the 3 judging elders. In the sky, 3 elders appeared, and they were divided into 3 sides. Their expressions were incomparably cold. To be honest, they were still very resistant towards Lin Xian. After all, one of the judging elders had already been killed because of Lin Xian. Therefore, when facing the other party, they were very careful. Lin Xian said, Dare I ask the 3 judging elders, just now, did you sense a Saint King level aura? The 3 of them looked at each other, and then one of the elders said coldly, We didn't sense it. The other 2 nodded. They also didn't sense a Saint King level aura. Thank you for upholding justice, Lin Xian said with his fists clasped. Then, he revealed a smile. You heard it. I didn't use any Saint King level Saint artifact. You're just too confident in yourself. You think you can hurt me with your strength? What a joke. I'm not someone you can imagine. Lin Xian's eyes revealed a hint of arrogance. This scene made the blue-robed man vomit blood. Damn it. How could it be? Was the other party's strength already so strong? Damn it. I don't believe it. Blue Ocean One Blade. The blue-robed man suddenly slashed out with his long blade. With a clang, between heaven and earth, crazy laws descended. It turned into an even more terrifying blade light. Earlier, it had been a destructive blade light. However, at that moment, it was extremely sharp. It was capable of slicing anything in half. Lin Xian also snorted coldly, and he stretched out his palm. It turned black again. Tiger Demon Fist, second style, sky-shattering. As soon as his voice fell, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Countless large cracks spread out in all directions with him as the center. It was as if the world was about to end. This scene was really too terrifying, even more terrifying than the previous blade. Suddenly, the blue blade light in the sky was covered by the cracks, and there was a cracking sound. Then, it was torn apart. Was the peerless blade broken? Countless people were in an uproar. No one expected Lin Xian to be so strong after showing his true strength. How could this be? I must be dreaming. The blue-robed man's pupils shrank. He knew the power of this blade. Even if Lin Xian could block it, he would be injured. However, the other party had easily broken through this set. Why are you shocked? Surprised? Lin Xian sneered. Don't worry, the more shocking part is yet to come. Speaking of this, he took a deep breath and threw out a punch. Tiger Demon Fist, third style, soul suppression. Another punch was thrown out, and the black fist seemed to have turned into a black tiger. It roared between heaven and earth, and the aura it emitted distorted the void. Feeling this terrifying power surging towards him, the blue-robed man's pupils shrank. Damn it, he frantically retreated, but he realized that it was too late. He could only passively resist, and the long blade in his hand was used to the extreme. Streaks of saber light shot out one after another. Each of them was as terrifying as the heavenly lightning. Thousands of them danced wildly in the sky, slashing towards the sky. The momentum was mighty. It was incomparable. I don't believe that I can't cut it. He roared at the sky, as if he was going to open the sky. Boom, boom, boom. However, the Tiger Demon Fist was really too terrifying. It could really suppress everything. The blade lights that filled the sky were all shattered. A shadow of a ferocious tiger pressed down on the blue-robed man. No. The blue-robed man's pupils shrank. He wanted to escape, but it was too late. In the next moment, he was directly enveloped by the tiger phantom. Boom! The entire ancient arena let out a violent roar, and countless cracks appeared around the arena, spreading towards the surroundings. At this moment, the arena was almost split apart, but it endured in the end. The surrounding people were blasted away by the storm of laws, and each of them held up their holy domains to resist crazily. Chapter 42:26. When everything disappeared, everyone looked carefully. In the next moment, they saw that there was at least a shadow of a black tiger that suppressed everything. Below it was a seahorse that was close to 1,000 meters long. At this moment, it was crushed into two halves. Blue blood dyed the ground red. The blue-robed man's true form was actually a seahorse. It was unbelievable. Damn it, how could it be? The people of Demon City looked terrible. Many of them stood up and roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted coldly. What? You finally showed your true form. You still dare to say that you're not from Demon City? Damn it. The seahorse kept roaring and trying to break free from the seal. However, it was suppressed. The people of Demon City were also roaring. Damn it, let go of him. Lin Xian glanced at them and said, So you admit that he's from Demon City? The people around were also shocked. That can't be right. This guy didn't come from Demon City. I remember that he walked out from the crowd. Yeah, he didn't emit any demonic chi from the beginning. He hid it well. I thought he was a human expert. That means he's really from Demon City. And it seems like he was secretly trained. Demon City actually hid such an expert. What's their purpose? Could it be that he's really a legendary hunter? Exclamations and discussions could be heard. The people of Demon City looked terrible. They all came back. An elder snorted coldly. He told the young geniuses to shut up. They were so angry that they gritted their teeth. On the other hand, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Why aren't you roaring anymore? Don't you want to save his life? Kid, what are you trying to do? Finally, an elder stood up and said coldly. Lin Xian said, It's simple. I just want to know what's the relationship between him and Demon City. All right, I can tell you that he's from Demon City. However, we didn't plan to let him participate. So, he hid his identity and came here secretly. We didn't know about it before. Now that I've told you his identity, you can let him go. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were in an uproar. This person really was an expert from the Demon City. Lin Xian chuckled when he heard this. Very good. He finally admitted it. He waved his hand, and the black tiger phantom roared and tore the seahorse's body into pieces. Even its soul was swallowed by the tiger. The huge body shattered and disappeared. Damn it, you actually dared to kill him. The elder of the 1,000 Demon City was furious, and his body emitted boundless cold killing intent. Lin Xian sneered. Why wouldn't I dare? He killed me, so why wouldn't I kill him? Did I promise you that I wouldn't kill him? Damn, the 1,000 Demon City elder was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He realized that Lin Fan really didn't say anything, which meant that he had been conned. Damn, brat, just you wait. If there's a chance, I definitely won't let you off. Are you threatening me? Very well, I'm going to go against you guys today. If any of you from the 10,000 goblins dare to come out, I will kill you. I want to see what qualifications you have to threaten me today. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold killing intent. The Soaring Sky Saint King was one of those who had participated in the hunt for him back then. How could he let the 1,000 Demon City off? Lin Xian's voice was extremely cold, so cold that it caused everyone's scalps to go numb. The 1,000 Demon City elder snorted coldly. How could this brat control the competition? Therefore, they did not care about this at all. However, they soon realized that they had been mistaken. The other party had grasped the laws of wind and thunder, and his speed was extremely fast. No matter who it was, as long as it was someone from the 1,000 Demon City, they would definitely be killed. The opponent immediately went up to the arena and killed his opponent as quickly as possible. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, 8 powerful beings from the 1,000 Demon City had died in the hands of the other party. Among them, there were even 2 saints. This caused the 1,000 Demon City to go crazy and their hearts to bleed. The soaring sky, Saint King's eyes shone with a piercing blade light as he glared at Lin Xian. The void around Lin Xian was shattering continuously. He could feel the might of the Saint King. Why? Was the Saint King about to strike out? Come on then. Didn't you three Saint Kings join forces to kill Lin Wuyi before? Since you can kill a genius once, you can continue to do whatever you want. Lin Xian's voice resonated throughout the entire universe. Come at me. Lin Xian's voice resonated throughout the universe. The soaring sky, Saint King's face turned cold. He snorted coldly and retracted his gaze. On the other side, the silver corpse Saint King's face was also ugly. Damn it. I can't let him continue to be arrogant. Old Zhang from the Thousand Demon City gritted his teeth. They asked who had the confidence to kill him. Everyone thought about it and shook their heads. To be honest, they did not have the confidence. However, at this moment, a figure walked out. I'll kill him. This person's voice was abnormally strong, and it carried a terrifying power. This was a demonic ape, an earth demonic ape with boundless strength. It was a mutated species of heaven and earth. His strength had reached the Saint realm. The soaring sky, Saint King frowned slightly. According to the information we just received, this person is very strong. He had joined the Grotto Heavens test and even succeeded. I'm afraid his strength is not weaker than Wan Jianyi and the others. Hearing this, the surrounding Thousand Demon City elders sucked in a breath of cold air. Was the other party so strong? No wonder he was able to kill so many experts. The Earth Demonic Ape also frowned, but he still said, I have some confidence. After knowing that Lin Xian's situation was so terrifying, this guy still wanted to make a move. One could imagine how terrifying his strength was. However, the Sage King shook his head. Don't make a move first. There's no need to reveal our trump cards in advance for this guy. Let's wait. Following this, the Thousand Demon City did not send out anyone. It was truly shocking. Could it be that the Thousand Demon City was afraid? One person was actually suppressing a saint city. If they did not see it with their own eyes, it would be hard to believe. Lin Xian did not make a move either. In fact, he was staring at the Thousand Demon City. As long as the other party made a move, he would immediately make a move. Being entangled by such a person, the Thousand Demon City felt very sullen. They had probably become the joke of the universe. Damn it. Those people gritted their teeth. The soaring sky Saint King's eyes were also cold. To be honest, he thought that if they competed for the time being, the other party would tactfully leave and provoke the other saint cities. That way, they could send out people to fight. But from the looks of it, the other party was really going against them. He did not participate in any battles and only stared at them. It was useless no matter what he did. He really did not know what was good for him. Then, I'll play with him. The soaring sky Saint King snorted coldly. He called Sikonglai over and let him go. Hearing this, the elders were stunned. Was the Sage King going to use his trump card? No matter, he had to use it anyway. This was a difficult opponent. It was best to let Sikonglai take action. This way, the world would know the consequences of offending me. Those elders nodded. Then, they opened a spatial gate and walked in. Not long after, they came out. A young man followed behind them. This person had a pale face and was wearing a black robe. He had a cold smile on his face. His long and narrow eyes were shining. Is it my turn to go on stage so soon? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.